Las Vegas, Nevada, the site of our Division III Men's Soccer National Championship here in 2024. And it's two NESCAC teams that will square off for the title. The Mammoths of Amherst taking on the Camels of Connecticut College. We welcome you to Peter Johann Memorial Field on the campus of Nevada, Las Vegas. I'm Jeremy Franklin. Joining me is Monica Moore. Here is how the teams got here. Amherst overcoming their NESCAC rivals Middlebury in the semifinal round, and Conn College used a second-half free kick and a beauty of a goal to defeat Washington and Lee 1-0. Let's take a step back and see how these two sides made it all the way to Las Vegas to championship weekend. For the Mammoths, they had a couple of close calls along the way. They needed penalty kicks to defeat Stevens in the second round, double overtime against Superior in the third round. But as we take a look at some of the action from that semifinal win against the Panthers of Middlebury, hard fought, as are a lot of these NESCAC men's soccer games.
It often comes down to set pieces. It did here for Amherst in the opening contest. They scored a goal off a corner kick. They got the penalty kick from Mohamed Nuhu, giving them a huge advantage. Nuhu was the standout on Thursday. Can he come up with more heroics today for the Mammoths?
For Conn College, the Camels, who won the title in 2021, they had a couple of tough ones down in Fredericksburg, Virginia in the third round in the quarterfinals. Needed penalty kicks to defeat Kenyon, knocked off another North Coast team, Denison, in the quarterfinal. And then against Washington and Lee, Peter Sylvester, the goalkeeper, was tremendous, and they scored an absolute marvel of a goal in the second half.
Peter Sylvester had 7 saves on the evening, and this was a beautiful set-piece goal. Alessandro Horvath-Diano, they practiced that, put a lot of work into it, and it really paid off. He said after the game he doesn't know they've done it that well in practice, but they made the shot when it counted, and they are looking for some more heroics today against Amherst.
Take a quick look at our starting lineups for what is a rematch of the 2021 National Championship game, which Conn College won on penalties down in Greensboro, North Carolina. Neither team making a change from the semifinals on Thursday. You get a look at Ruben Burke's 11. As we mentioned, Sylvester was outstanding. Matthew Scafone in there, the All-American, and they do bring the goal scorer Horvath-Diano off the bench. The Amherst lineup, again, identical to the side that Justin Serpone sent out against Middlebury, as the Mammoths are in the championship game for the fourth time in the last 5 years, and Max Landa helped guide them to the title game in 2023 when they lost in overtime to St. Olaf in Salem, Virginia. So we are underway. The Camels in blue and Amherst in white. Another gorgeous day here in Las Vegas. So glad to have you with us. We'll have WashU and William Smith squaring off in the women's championship same time on Sunday.
And Jeremy, on Thursday, Amherst really got off to a quick start in that one. They had 4 shots in the opening 10 minutes. They really took hold of the momentum early on. Meanwhile, for Conn College, it was really even with them and Washington and Lee. Took a little while to get things going. Their set-piece defense was tremendous. I think that's going to be a huge key today for Conn College and their resiliency. They have definitely faced adversity in this tournament. They have been up to the challenge time and time again. And when you have a player back in net like Peter Sylvester, he came up with 3 first-half saves, which perhaps were the difference maker, keeping things level early on.
Seen some action at either end in the opening minute here. We talk about the set-piece defending for Conn College. It had to be outstanding because there were a lot of those dead ball situations. Here's just about an opportunity inside the box there for Rai Duran, but the Mammoths deal with the situation. And Apoku's counterattack broken up at midfield by Jack Kalesoglu.
And Perugini has already been so dynamic. He has the ball right now. He was a standout on Thursday. Look for him to really control in the center of the field. He's very creative, technical on the ball. He can be a difference maker for the Camels.
Pretty comfortable in there for Max Landa. Thursday was the 8th meeting in 4 years between Amherst and Middlebury. This is the 9th time that the Mammoths and the Camels have squared off in the last 4 seasons, including the 3rd time this year. Perugini and Johnny Novak getting into it there as our match referee has a word with the players. Irving Navarro in charge of this match.
A little bit of a heavy touch for Perugini as the ball got out in front of him, but he has been tremendous in the opening moments, looking to get things going offensively for Conn College. I think this has been a pretty good start for the Camels because they wanted to make sure that they set the tone early on. They don't want to be reactive today, and they're already connecting on some passes, being very organized offensively.
Wanted to have a little bit more control of the game. That is the word that Ruben Burke used in the postgame press conference after the semifinal victory. This is Poku for Amherst, looking for space in the corner against his fellow number 24, Kalesoglu. And he has won the first corner kick of the game, and it was a corner that the Mammoths used to score their opening goal against Middlebury.
And we talked about the set-piece defense for Conn College, and very early on they are going to be called upon to try to defend this set-piece.
Jacob Denzio, whose corner set up the Simon Kalinowskis goal early in the second half in that semifinal game.
And they have Kalinowskis far post, but a great save by Sylvester. He is so assertive in the air. This was the big storyline on Thursday, and it looks like that storyline going to continue here today, Jeremy. He commands his box, has so much confidence. We've talked a lot during this tournament about his career, his progression, and it really has been something to see. He has grown into this role as the starting goalkeeper for Conn College, and he has been huge.
Excellent tackle there by Duran. Can Sam Beam catch up to this? Not quite, because Landa with some good assertive goalkeeping to win that near the edge of his box.
And once again, it's Marco Perugini getting loose, sending the through ball forward, really understanding where Sam Beam is. Beam has tremendous speed over on the left side. And Perugini is absolutely setting the tone early on for the Camels.
Poku to Michael Cherico. Played forward for Nuhu. And away by Charlie Miles, who thought he was caught late there by Nuhu. Let's go back quickly to the first two meetings between these teams, as Clark Eden's got the coverage on the Conn College counterattack. These teams played exactly 3 months ago. It was the second game of the year for both teams. Amherst won 1-0 at home. Mohamed Nuhu had the lone goal from an Aiden Curtis assist in the 55th minute. But a rematch in Amherst, Massachusetts in the NESCAC quarterfinals. That was a 1-1 draw that went to penalties. And Conn College won the shootout 4-2. Couple of saves in the shootout and 10 in the game for Peter Sylvester. But long story short, we could recap all the other times they played in the past few years, and we'll, of course, talk a little bit about the 2021 title game. Very familiar foes.
And I think today, Conn College, their strategy early on is they're trying to exploit the speed of Sam Beam over on the left side. They have been looking to him for early opportunities, whether it's Perugini or Gavin Vandenberg. They're trying to go over top of the defense. They're trying to go through the defense, but we'll see if they're able to connect with number 3 up top, because he has fantastic pace for the Camels.
Poku keeping that ball alive in the corner. And finally, the Camels just launch it back across midfield. Long by Clark Eden, well controlled by Finn Hayton Ruffner. Hayton Ruffner, the layoff here for Niall Murphy. And now Nuhu on the left flank. Nuhu's cross, a good ball, and Sylvester with a big early moment to deny Hayton Ruffner.
That was such a fantastic ball by Mohamed Nuhu. His team has so much height. Cherico, a fantastic target. These two almost connected for a goal on Thursday, as you see. Beautiful play, and Nuhu just putting the right amount on that crossing ball. Peter Sylvester continuing to be the standout for Conn College back in net. But another important set piece coming up here for the Mammoths.
You saw Cherico making that late run. I think it was indeed Hayton Ruffner who made the contact. Both players arriving around the same time. Second corner kick already for the Mammoths. Already players getting a talking to from Irving Navarro, jostling in and around the 6-yard box. Served in toward the back post, off the fingertips of Sylvester, and a whistle for an Amherst foul.
And again, you just have to watch how quickly Peter Sylvester makes decisions. He is so decisive. He tries to control things early on in the play, doesn't wait too long, and so far he has been an absolute standout in this tournament. Such a luxury to have him back in net for Conn College.
Everybody who was here on Thursday, except for Peter Sylvester, knew that he was the man of the match. You had to inform him of that in the press conference.
We really remarked about how humble he was after that contest. He did look surprised when we mentioned that he was the man of the match. Really wanted to give a lot of credit to his defense, his teammates. It really just tells you so much of the character of Sylvester, who has put in the time, he's put in the work. He is so good on the aerial balls, and we have seen that time and time again in this tournament.
He was the shootout goalie, not the starter, but came on for penalties in the championship game in 21, as that is blazed wide by Obed Opoku, who's had a bright start for Amherst.
It's really a good sign for Amherst that they're getting Opoku going early on. He was fantastic in the opening moments of the second half, and you see didn't quite have the angle. Good defense disrupting what he was trying to do, but Amherst has Mohamed Nuhu on the left and Obed Opoku on the right, and it really gives them opportunities to try to stretch out the field, to try to work the ball up different sides of the field.
Build up for Conn College now as it comes to Max Haberman. Great tackle by Clark Eden just outside the 18 on Duran.
But some good sustained possession here for Conn College. You see they really look to Perugini as the distributor. I think Amherst doing a nice job there defensively with 2 players over, and one of them was Wyatt McCarthy, who is so important to Amherst in the center of their defense. And McCarthy looks like has decided he is going to try not to let Perugini get some of these nice balls forward, because he has really been focusing in on Marco Perugini.
Wyatt McCarthy, one of 4 all-tournament team selections for the Mammoths last season. They're all back. In fact, all in the starting lineup. Hayton Ruffner, Simon Kalinowskis, Niall Murphy, the others. A team that has become accustomed to playing in this game, but none of these guys have won a national title. The lone championship in program history came 9 years ago out in Kansas City.
Certainly not lost on the Mammoths as they come into this event, their 3rd Final Four in 4 years. Lots of players on this team know what it's like to play at this level, to play in this moment, but certainly feeling like they have that unfinished business.
Got a free kick coming up for the Camels, and they've got several holdovers from that 2021 championship team, not just Sylvester.
You see the contact there as McCarthy was trying to regain his footing as well, but it has been hotly contested. We knew it would be. These are big rivals, very familiar with each other. There really are no secrets at this stage of the season between these 2 clubs.
In 9 meetings in 4 years. How wild is that? How many times would that happen in any conference at any level of college soccer?
But also just tells you the caliber of the 2 teams. And to be meeting here on this stage in this national championship final tells you about the strength of the NESCAC.
No doubt about that. We saw Middlebury have a great season come to an end against Amherst. Tufts was in the top 5 most of the year. Lots of other teams participating in the NCAA tournament. Here's Opoku. A lot of great touches early on, and Sylvester, wonderful catch as he had players arriving from either direction from the Mammoths.
So far, Amherst is doing a really nice job sending these balls forward, hoping, again, to exploit their height. They have a lot of height up top. They're trying to get someone on the end of this in the air, but Peter Sylvester is commanding his space so well. We told you that one of the biggest things he's worked on is those aerial balls. And he has had several opportunities so far in this contest to show that strength.
Starting to see Amherst control possession a bit more. We're in the 12th minute. Opoku was caught there by Kalesoglu. Free kick Amherst.
And Amherst is trying to get Opoku more involved with his dynamic speed over on the right side. You've seen his crossing ability, his creativity. He's difficult to contain. As we get another look here, good touch on the ball. Kalesoglu coming over will commit the foul.
Some of the ball, but also some of Opoku's leg there.
Looks like Johnny Novak will take this. We saw Nuhu take some of these set pieces on Thursday.
Deep service from Novak. Sylvester again able to make the catch in traffic. And again took some contact. And the referee, I think, calling out the trainer here to make sure that Sylvester is okay.
I'd certainly hope this is nothing serious for Peter Sylvester, but this is more of what we've been talking about. It is so critical to have him on this set-piece defense because he collects so many of these balls before anyone else can touch it. That was one of the biggest factors in the win on Thursday. It was the set-piece defense, and look at Sylvester quickly off his line, assertive in the air, realizing that this is what Amherst is looking to capitalize on today. Again, they have that tremendous height. This was a place that Amherst was very successful on Thursday. The 6'6" Kalinauskas scored on the corner kick. Michael Cherico, the 6'5" freshman, almost scored in the air. And Peter Sylvester is doing everything he can to shut that down.
And it was Cherico who made the contact there. You can see Peter Sylvester is physically okay, but still quite upset that he got run over there while the ball was in the air.
And I think from Sylvester's perspective, he's trying to make sure that he makes his case now to try to control what's going to happen later. So you just see the leadership, the understanding of Sylvester.
Certainly did seem like Cherico was going after the ball, but goalkeepers will get that extra bit of protection, understandably so.
Well, it certainly is how a lot of injuries happen because you're not focused on keeping your footing. You're only focused on the ball.
Duran able to get that on to Gavin Vandenberg. It's a step around Kalinauskas. Perugini overhits the chip pass.
It's more fantastic play by Gavin Vandenberg with 4 goals and an assist on the season so far, and I think he was even a little surprised that he still ended up with the ball. Nice little pass over to Marco Perugini, who had the right idea, just the execution not there on that play for Perugini. You could just certainly tell Marco Perugini has the reputation. He's the soccer junkie, the player that plays year-round, that has the really good understanding of the game. He is so tactical, and Ruben Berg told us that that was one of the biggest reasons they brought him in, was because of that tactical ability. He is so smart. He has such a good understanding of the game, and they are so lucky that he has assimilated so quickly into this Camels program.
So we have a stoppage here. The referee was talking with his fourth official, Dorian Del Toro Irueta, who's in charge of one of the semifinal games on Thursday. I'm not sure what the delay is about. He is looking at something on the monitor down below us. We did have a couple of video reviews in the Amherst Middlebury game. We're told it's a clock issue this time, but video review certainly came into play in the Mammoths win. That's how they got the penalty that Muhammad Nuhu scored, which ended up being the game winner.
They did, and there was another review that could have possibly resulted in a Middlebury penalty. The official determined that it was no penalty on the field, so that was a big call as well. But as you said, Jeremy, they took a lot of time, were very thoughtful in the reviews for both of those plays. And once again, you see the contact there when Peter Sylvester went out to make the play in the air. And will be a story we'll be keeping our eyes on, because it appears that this is what Amherst is trying to do offensively, is cross these balls forward, connect with the head of a teammate. They realize it is so difficult to get past Peter Sylvester. You feel like it's going to have to be either a wonder strike to get past him or a deflection off someone's head, off someone's body, because he understands his angles so well. He understands the game so well.
Looks like the referee has sorted everything out again. Irving Navarro is our man in the middle. The assistant referees today, Aaron Fong and Sean Conley. Great honor for officials to be chosen for a national championship game. .31-29 on the game clock. So we're in the 14th minute and not the 15th now. Make sure we get everything right with the stakes so high. National championship number 2 in program history for whoever hoists the trophy later on this afternoon.
And it's going to be Max Landa who will get things started for Amherst. We've talked a lot about Peter Sylvester. Max Landa, a great story in and of itself. He has worked so hard to be back in net, has struggled with injury this season, has spent a lot of time in rehab fixing problems that have arisen throughout the course of the season. Pulled a quad, hurt a shoulder. He has put in the time and work trying to make sure that he could be available here today.
He did not start either of the previous games against Conn College. He did come on for penalties in the NESCAC tournament. Landa was the starter last season. So another set piece coming up for the Mammoths here, both on these dead ball situations and in the run of play. As Monica has told you, they've been peppering the Conn College 18 with aerial deliveries. Another chance for Denzio here.
What they do here, if they do something a little different. They do not, but well defended by the back line for the Camels.
Charlie Miles, the most outstanding player of the NESCAC championship, who headed that from the top of the 6.
We were very impressed with him on Thursday. We talked a lot about the blue-collar defense that he provides on the back line, where the Camels does not really always get the recognition that he deserves, but he is such a critical component of the back line.
After some good early offensive pressure from Conn College, this is starting to look like the semifinal for the Camels against Washington and Lee, where the opposition has a lot of the ball. We've seen Conn College called into action on the defensive end quite a bit in the first 15-plus minutes.
But the good news for the Camels is they're used to playing in lots of different situations, whether they're down a goal, whether they're not having a lot of the possession. And Peter Sylvester right now is doing all the work, corralling the ball, has had a lot of opportunities to shine in the opening moments of this contest. But meanwhile, for Amherst, they're starting to possess the ball more. You can certainly see the game plan that they've put together. I do think that they want to get Nuhu even more involved, as he was the one that touched the ball forward there for the Mammoths.
And Ruffner's cross to the opposite side of the 18, and Opoku. Opoku wins another corner, perhaps. No, Sylvester able to keep that in. Not quite.
You continue to see how dangerous Obed Opoku is on the far side with these crossing balls, with his ability to try to facilitate for his teammates. 3 assists on the season so far for Opoku, the freshman out of Ghana. The Right to Dream program.
Same program that brought Muhammad Nuhu to Western Massachusetts. Whistle another foul on the Mammoths inside the 18, but that's 4 corner kicks. Only one official save for Sylvester so far, which was on the Hayton Ruffner header. But how many times have we seen either Sylvester come out and intercept a corner or another cross, or Conn College have to clear the ball from outside of the 18?
His aggressiveness, his ability to put out these fires has been so important all tournament long. And again, it has been the storyline today so far. Amherst is doing a good job winning these opportunities, being very intentional with what they're doing on the offensive end, sending balls forward, trying to put players in the position to be dangerous. But the Conn College defense continuing to be such a big storyline. And pretty much, Jeremy, I think what we expected after seeing the 2 games on Thursday. Amherst, as we told you, was very much on the attacking foot at the beginning of the first half and at the beginning of the second half. Conn College having to be a little more reactive at times in their semifinal. Perugini once again doing a nice job pushing the ball forward.
Lobs this one into the path of Scafone. But Amherst able to get it away. Denzio started the defense, and then Clark Eden cleared it.
I've not talked as much about Scafone, number 13 in blue, but he's certainly one to keep your eyes on, as is Sam Beam.
Scafone, a 2-time All-American. There is Beam getting the cross away, but it's a comfortable catch there for Max Landa.
But I do think that Conn College would like to get Scafone more involved. He brings so much value, and frankly, even when he does not have the ball, he brings a lot of value on the field from the runs that he makes, how he helps facilitate the attention that he draws from the defense.
Did not see a lot of the ball against Washington and Lee, but he was involved in the key moment. He drew the foul that Alessandro Horvatieno scored on. Resulting free kick in that 1-0 win.
And he just made a very good run there for Conn College, but he was covered up by the defense. And again, if he is drawing a lot of defensive attention, that's opening things up for other players, and that's a big role that he plays.
Long run by Apoku. Finds himself on the opposite side of the pitch now. They offer Denzio another driven cross. Lancing header that time for Michael Cherico.
We haven't talked as much about Denzio today, who had the assist in the semifinals, but you cannot forget about him over on the left side. He has such a good long crossing ball on this play, and we've seen him do that quite a bit. And again, you see the aerial ball coming forward, looking for the targets up top. Cherico in particular, he has been ridiculously impactful his freshman year, and you have to imagine that Michael Cherico just going to get better and better. The numbers he has put up already with 6 goals and an assist for Amherst.
Mammoths right back on the attack. Great tackle there from Dylan Hoke. Conn College escapes again. Jake Reyes just coming in along with Gavin Impiana. Those two connect. Impiana trying to lay it back off to Reyes. That was picked off by Johnny Novak.
Fantastic play there by Reyes, just into the game, already making an impact.
Trying to play direct into the path of Scafone. Atlanta playing the high line. Wins it at the top of his 18. Maybe how the Camels have to work this year, absorb pressure and just look to strike on the break.
Well, and again, they have the fantastic speed on the flanks that they can utilize no matter who the personnel are on the field. They've been very creative, and we'll see if they can get Impiana involved.
Another long ball out of the back that Murphy defends for the Mammoths. Kyle Murphy, the first team All-NESCAC, first team All-Region honoree, the senior from Cambridge, Massachusetts. The engine that this team runs on, according to his coach, Justin Serpone.
So Amherst now with a bit of a switch, as they have put Nuhu over on the right and they have Apoku on the left, and we have seen them continually switch those two players in this tournament from different sides of the field.
As we saw in the semifinal game, the set pieces conceded by Conn College, piling up quickly. Another corner for the Camels to defend here in the 22nd minute. believe every single one has come from this side of the field as well for that left foot of Jacob Dinzio. And again, Conn College, it's Miles who headed that one out of the 6, and we'll finally see a corner from the opposite side.
Charlie Miles listed at 6'2" on the roster. He has been critical as well in the set piece defense all tournament long. So this will be Nuhu on the service.
Such an impact already. Ebbs, a sophomore for Nuhu. NESCAC Rookie of the Year last year, 8 goals, 4 assists. The penalty that won it against Middlebury in the semis. He's 11th of this season, along with 8 helpers. The 4th team United Soccer Coaches All-American Nuhu. Maybe not exactly what he was trying to do that time. It falls to Kalinowskis on the other side of the pitch as he and Kalesoglu battle. And that driven ball, Miles had to deal with.
Miles just continuing to have fantastic timing. Great communication between him and Sylvester. Very savvy play there by Ben Clark. He to keep that ball moving forward for the Mammoths, at least momentarily.
Just wonder, can you play this much intense defense for the better part of 90 minutes and come out on top? The Camels did that Thursday. It's a tall order to try to replicate that feat.
It is, and we talked with Ruben Burke a little bit about that in the post-game press conference on Thursday, and he kind of jokingly said that sometimes you just hope and pray, but his team has really shown that ability to withstand offensive attacks time and time again. They are so well organized, and again, you have to talk about the communication that back line has. They work so well together.
A nice run by Perezzini again just to get the ball up the field. Nothing comes of that in the end, but at least a little bit of pressure alleviated on the Conn College defense for a moment.
And again, Gavin Impiana is such a good target up top. They're trying to find him. He has been injured, but he has that fantastic left foot. He can really find good chances in the box. He just has a knack for creating moments, and they would love to get him involved offensively.
Reese Pigola in off the Camels bench. Wins the ball in the midfield. Home touch by Sylvester on for Miles. Up the field by Kalesoglu into the path of Impiana. Referee using a yellow card here. Impiana after he lost the ball with the late challenge on the wing.
That's unlucky for Conn College as they were looking to get something going offensively. They were looking for Impiana over on the left side, but fantastic defensive coverage by Kalinowskis.
Took the worst of that on Impiana's follow-through. Coming with just over 20 minutes to play, a scoreless first half, but one that has been largely controlled by Amherst College.
Conn College definitely had some good offensive moments in the early goings, but as you mentioned, Amherst has now taken over time of possession. All the opportunities that they have generated in their attacking third, the number of corner kicks that they have had. They have been very smart in terms of the opportunities that they have generated. And again, you really understand what Justin Serpone's game plan was here today, how he thinks his team can score a goal against Peter Sylvester and the Conn College defense.
It is working so far in terms of creating chances. Sylvester's made one key save, lots of other interceptions, some very vital clearances from the likes of Charlie Miles to keep this level at 0-0, and now we'll see an Amherst yellow card as McCarthy has his name taken, coming in late against Max Haberman.
Hope this is nothing serious for Max Haberman, all NESCAC second team, only a sophomore. Does a lot of the little things as well in the middle of the park. We take another look here at the contact.
mistimed more than anything by McCarthy. Still doesn't feel very good to get stepped on like that. Haberman, over 1,700 minutes coming into championship weekend. Awarded by the coaches in the conference. See some additional changes, 3 of them, in fact, for Conn College here, including Elliott Spots, who's had a tremendous tournament so far. Matt Kiros-Newton on the field as well. He scored against Amherst in the NESCAC quarterfinal game.
It was certainly a question in our minds. When would Conn College bring Elliott Spots into the contest? He is the spark off the bench, and took a while, a little more time today than we saw on Thursday for him to get out onto the field, but he is one you cannot lose. He is wearing number 12 for this weekend, even though he's listed as number 33 on the roster. We'll see if they can get him involved. It has been difficult with the amount of time of possession that Amherst has been controlling. They have been in their attacking third quite a bit.
The third change for Conn College, the goal scorer, the man who struck that outstanding free kick against WDL on Thursday, Alessandro Horvathiano. Scafone, just a little bit too heavy of the first touch as McCarthy came back in there. Conn College back on the ball at midfield. There is Horvathiano.
Horvathiano, another one who has really elevated his game this season. Such a smart, savvy player who understands both what you need to do offensively and defensively. And they like to bring him in key moments as well.
Really good on the defensive end. We certainly have seen what he can do with the set piece. Here's a Poku back on the right side now. Connects with Cherico. That header closely watched by the Camels, and it sails high.
But again, Amherst doing a nice job creating a chance, lofting a ball into the air, trying to give Cherico an opportunity to be dangerous.
Haberman. Catch up top for Pigola. Spots will work it out wide to Kiros-Newton.
Some really good build-up on this play for Conn College. What's been missing, but then you have Ben Clark-Eden stepping in, timing his play perfectly. That is the experience of a player like Ben Clark-Eden, who has seen so much during his career.
Playing by Sylvester at the other end. Clark-Eden, a repeat first-team All-NESCAC selection, making his 64th start in an Amherst uniform, the senior from Littlehampton, England.
Great, fantastic play by Johnny Novak. Talk about experience out on the field. Started the national championship game his freshman year, was somewhat of a starter, but has really grown into his role. And it was really interesting hearing Justin Serpone talk about him and his love for the Amherst program. He said if he ever needed a publicist, he would go to Johnny Novak, but really just a player who feels so deeply indebted to Amherst for everything that it has done for him and the experience that he has had while he has been there.
Free kick for the Mammoths, approaching 30 minutes into the match. Lots of chances for Amherst. Still looking for the breakthrough. Maybe it's coming here, and it is. Or not. The offside flag is up on Hayton Ruffner. Justin Serpone racing out to the fourth official. Can't believe it. But that takes away a goal for the Mammoths.
It was really well designed on the play. And I think from Amherst's perspective, they have been getting a lot out of these opportunities, just not the end product. This is well struck by Denzino. We'll try to get a look here.
Awfully tight there, as there was that initial touch off the free kick, but the referee is going to have a look.
And Justin Serpone was immediately over calling for the VAR review because this is such an important call in this contest. And as you said, Jeremy, it was very close. So the call on the field, the flag was up.
And this is not like some of the professional or international VAR where you've got the lines for offside. This is still going to be an eye test for Irving Navarro.
But a pretty quick review from our official.
Final decision offside.
It says final decision offside. So the initial call will stand, and a Hayden Ruffner goal take it off the board. We remain level at 0-0.
But again, you continue to see how dangerous Amherst is on these set pieces. How many of these opportunities have they won in this half? Time and time again, the Conn College defense has had to stand tall. And
after review, the offside was confirmed. No goal.
Very loud warning being issued there because Amherst still very unhappy with that call. They felt like they had finally broken through the Conn College defense, and it was very tight. More fantastic defending by Novak, who uses his body so well to shield Scafone. That is quite a battle between Novak and Scafone.
Hayden Ruffner up the line for Opoku. Looking for space. Layoff for Hayden Ruffner. A little bit of room here for McCarthy. Nuhu was trying to backheel that into the 18.
It's really good defense by Haberman not to allow Nuhu to work that ball through.
The attack ends up fizzling out there for the Mammoths. Finally making a change here. With about 14 minutes to go in this first half, and they'll bring on a player who scored in the national title game last year. That's Luka Ohadike, had the opening goal against St. Olaf. Again, Amherst would go on to lose that game in overtime. Another player who's contributed in one of the biggest games that Amherst has ever played.
But I think the good news for Amherst, again, they're executing their game plan. They're getting the opportunities. They're getting the time of possession. They just have to stick with it. The game requires a lot of patience and a lot of resilience, but the more opportunities you create, good things will happen. And Amherst right now doing a lot of what they want to do on the offensive end.
Throw in worked up the line for Scafone. Spots in the vicinity as well.
Scafone just continuing to command defensive attention. It's been difficult to find him at times because the defense tracking him very closely.
Attacking throw for Conn College. Horvath Diano backing all the way to the fence here around Peter Johann Memorial Field. Try to treat this like a set piece. Not convincingly cleared. The chance is still on here, and Landa diving after that, pouncing on it. Looked like the final touch might have been from Creus, as Pigola was involved in that as well.
Really credit Max Landa with so many players in front of him in an unsettled moment, seeing the ball so perfectly. Great diving play by the goalkeeper for Amherst. One of the best opportunities that Conn College has had. And a foul. Cherico getting the worst of it there.
You see our third yellow card here of the first half. The second issue to the Camels goes against Dylan Hook.
But you see how quickly Amherst comes at you with a counter after that play, working the ball up the field. So we get another look here. Cherico has been a tremendous target throughout this tournament.
Actually, that should not have been Hook. That should have been Jake Creus on the foul. I think it was Hook maybe arguing, pleading for leniency. And Cherico hobbling his way back up the pitch.
But another good chance here for Denzio. Was looking that time for Kalinowskis.
Just overhit it a bit as it's thrown out by Spots. Back forward by Clark Eden. Who closing the gap. He won for the Camels to defend.
Enzio just has such tremendous service with his left foot. He is such an asset over on the left side. Everything that he is able to do, facilitating on these set pieces, can send in a nice crossing ball, has good speed. Fantastic defender. He really brings so much quality to the field with everything that he does. And again, only a first year for Amherst. They have a lot of young talent on this roster, Jeremy. You just get the sense that this Amherst team, it's a team we're going to see time and time again. Again, third Final Four in 4 years. They just keep reloading with so much talent in that program.
3rd and 4 and a 4th and 5 the year before the pandemic. They were in the title game as well back in 2019. The excellence of Justin Serpone's program. Trying to get back to the top of D3 soccer. The lone title that they won coming 9 years ago. Brendan Clare on the field now for Conn College. Nathan Curtis, who had an assist in the regular season win for Amherst, just entering for the Mammoths. Physicality, not unexpectedly given how well these two teams know each other and how often they play in such high-stakes games. It really has been ramping up here.
It has been, and we knew this was going to be one of the biggest keys of the tournament is just the physicality. Both teams, it's very even. It's not just one team. The rivalry is so intense. There is so much pride on the line, and the stakes absolutely could not be higher.
And for Amherst, now in at number 32.
Clear by Denzio on the long free kick from Matt Diano. Under 10 minutes remaining here in the first half in Las Vegas. Something building here perhaps for the Camels. Spots chance to cross through the 6-yard box out of the reach initially of Scafone, who runs it down on the opposite flank.
That was so well executed by Spots, who was tripped up, was down on the ground, still was able to send that crossing ball forward. He is very dangerous in the attacking third, as we told you, and they have been looking for some of the magic out of Spots, who had 2 goals off the bench in the quarterfinals in the span of 6 minutes. Talk about tremendous production.
They had fallen behind against Denison, the Big Red, who had eliminated number 1 team in the coaches poll, Mary Washington, in the round of 16. They took the lead inside the opening 14 minutes. Spots the game changer. He has scored in 3 of the 4 tournament games coming into championship weekend. And for good measure, converted a penalty in the shootout against Kenyon in the round of 16. Ohadike wins the ball. Ohadike the strike just high.
So much composure on the ball for Ohadike. The defense was doing everything they could to try to shut him down. It did not bother him in the slightest. Got a little under the ball, but you see there, great control with his left foot. Fantastic left-footed strike. Again, just a little under it. It is hard to contain him, as Jorge Mendo will tell you after that play.
Camels trying to build out of the back. Does seem like Conn College has gotten that foothold in the game, maybe understanding that Amherst will have a bit more of the ball and more of the chances, but we've seen now the Camels can produce on the counter.
Well, and I think one of the biggest strengths of this Conn College team is how comfortable they are playing no matter what the situation, whether they have more time of possession, whether their opponent does, whether they're under fire constantly. They just remain so composed. It has been one of the biggest factors in this run that they've made. They have absolutely caught fire during the postseason, and I think the composure and the resilience is the biggest reason why.
They are very comfortable with that transition offense. That's one of the keys that Ruben Burke spoke with us about. But yes, 8-2-5 in the regular season. Had a lot of those 0-0 draws in NESCAC play. Turned it on when it mattered most. Won the program's first ever NESCAC championship. And that momentum has just spilled over into a run back to the national title game. And there is one of the big reasons why they're here. One of the big reasons why they won that shootout against Amherst back in 2021. Peter Sylvester again patrolling his 18-yard box.
We just can't say enough about his decision-making, how he puts out the fires before it becomes a problem.
There's Murphy, Ohadike, looking across this time. Miles got his head to it, falls to Muhammad Nuhu. McCarthy, good quick string of passes for Amherst. That ball driven toward the back post. Ohadike's header right at Sylvester on the delivery from Johnny Novak.
And look at the reaction time of Peter Sylvester, who was focused on the other side of the field, has to turn and slide. Fantastic coverage, the way that he ensures that that ball does not go in the back of the net. What a tournament Peter Sylvester has had. And Jeremy, I think Charlie Miles as well today and on Thursday has been huge for Conn College on the set piece defense, patrolling the box, really making sure that nothing becomes dangerous. Those two working together, it has been a massive asset.
Officially just the second save of this game for Sylvester. That, of course, doesn't count all the crosses he's picked out of the air. So far, Conn College keeping the Mammoths at bay. 0-0, approaching the final 5 minutes of the first half. Camels continue to utilize their bench. Christian Perugini, the older brother of Marco, out there, I believe, for the first time this weekend.
And it certainly seems like Ruben Burke feels like having the fresh legs on the field, and particularly in the second half, is going to be a big benefit for his team because he has very liberally used his substitutes. And frankly, I think he's also trying to find something that will connect on the offensive end.
Christian Perugini walked on to this team as a junior and then joined by brother Marco, transferred in from Union. It's Brendan Clare, another player who's coming off the bench for Conn College this afternoon. Senior from Wellesley, Massachusetts.
Sylvester will look to get something started here on the free kick. Looking for Spots again.
Spots did get his head to it. That ball had trickled behind. It'll be a Max Landa goal kick.
As we've talked about Conn College, they're very comfortable just waiting for their moment. They do not panic if they don't have a lot of time of possession. Thursday, certainly a case in point. It only takes one magical moment. They got it out of Horvath Diano, who is a bit of a set-piece specialist.
Another good run from Ohadike up the left side. That's deflected behind. Chalk up another corner for the Mammoths.
It is hard to contain Ohadike's speed. It is hard to push him off the ball. He has good technical ability. It is huge for Amherst to be able to bring him in off the bench.
7th quarter of this opening half. Amherst Conn College had to defend 9 of them in total in the game against Washington and Lee in the semifinal. Who else but Peter Sylvester will win that ball inside the 18. Again, not a save officially, but another huge play by the keeper.
Go ahead and give him a cape. He has been Superman in this tournament. Sylvester, you see him again, just quick off the line. He knows the trajectory of the ball. He knows exactly where he needs to be. He times it perfectly. We talked about it a lot on Thursday. To me, he's been the standout again here today. He has been so involved, so composed, great communication, has left nothing to chance. He has been peppered by the Amherst offense, and he has stood very tall back in net for Conn College.
Final 2 minutes out of the opening 45. Maybe a chance for a bit of Camels pressure here. Horvathiano's throw. Headed away by McCarthy, but cleared back into touch.
Conn College continuing just to try to get something going offensively. They've had some good moments. They've had some chances. Credit the back line, Ben Clark-Eden, Johnny Novak, Simon Kalinauskis. When they have had to, they have really stepped up for Amherst.
Clark-Eden, though, just so sturdy in the back for the Mammoths. Back up here for Conn College, for Haberman. Nothing comes of that, and we're into the 45th minute now.
And I think one of the reasons that Ben Clark-Eden is so strong on that back line, he's played about everywhere out on the field. He understands every position on the field, where you need to be. He's played both outside backs, both center backs, the 6, the 8, on the wings. Such a versatile player, such fantastic understanding of the game. He is a player that has 1,000% bought in to everything that Justin Serpone and his staff have been trying to do. Fantastic role model for younger players. And you just constantly see him talking on the back line for the Mammoths.
Camels winning a free kick. They do not seem to be in any rush to take it here.
10,
They do get
9,
the deep service in
8,
toward the 18.
7, 6,
The
5,
whistle goes
4,
against
3,
Conn College, and that will take
2,
us to halftime.
1.
A lot of chances for the Mammoths. We did see an occasional
ends the
opportunity
first
for the
half.
Camels, but we head into the break,
The score
level
is
0-0.
And I think Conn College is happy with that result. They have been peppered by the Amherst offense. They have withstood that barrage in the first half. This is what they did on Thursday. Peter Sylvester has been Peter Sylvester. I think the thing for Amherst, they've executed their game plan really well. They've had a lot of nice aerial balls inside. They've been looking for Cherico. They've been looking for Kalinauskis when he's pushed forward. They've had great targets. Hayden Ruffner has been involved offensively. I think we're going to see a lot more of the same from them in the second half because it's been working well. It's just that the Conn College defense so far has not made a mistake.
Halftime in the national championship game.
Championship, and it remains scoreless between Amherst and Connecticut College. It was a chippy first half, but we still got a lot of ball left to play, and be sure to tune into our post-game show presented by LG. Second half coming up shortly. We'll be right back after the break.
Start of the second half coming up for you in just a moment here in the national championship game, D3 men's soccer here on the UNLV campus in Las Vegas. Jeremy Franklin, Monica Moore back with you. No score between Amherst and Conn College, rematch of the 2021 final that the Camels ended up winning on penalties. No goals to talk about, but lots of excitement in the opening 45.
Which is absolutely what we expected from these two teams. It was physical. There was fantastic defense on both sides. Lots of slide tackles, lots of drama, and lots of aerial balls from Amherst. That was the big storyline. They were looking to connect with some of their players in the air, but Peter Sylvester was having none of it. He stood tall. This was one of the biggest moments of the first half. The goal was called offsides. Hayden Ruffner thought he had finally broken through the defensive line. It was reviewed on VAR. The official said it was offside, but Conn College, despite spending a lot of the first half on defense, they got some chances in their offensive end. They know they have to be patient. They do not get ruffled. They will come out very strong in this second half. And I think for Amherst, I would do more of the same. The number of set pieces that they won, they had 7 corner kicks just in the first half. You see no corner kicks yet for Conn College, and you see the shot differential. The stats really do tell you the storyline, but I think what the stats don't tell you, we really enjoyed seeing Peter Sylvester all over his box, and when Max Landa was called upon, when he had to make the big save for Amherst, he was there.
You saw that one chance in particular for Maurice Pagola of the Camels. 2 official saves for Peter Sylvester, but again, probably 6 or 8 crosses that he intercepted, other bits of danger that he dealt with, trying to guide his team to its second national title. This would be number 2 for Amherst as well. The difference being the Camels won theirs in 21 with a lot of players still around from that roster. The Amherst championship was back in 2015. They are back in the title game for the 3rd time in the last 4 years, the 4th time in the last 5 tournaments going back to 2019.
So we'll see what adjustments both coaching staffs have made here. Again, as we talked about, Amherst really able to do a lot of what they were looking to do in the first half, just not able to get the end result. And of course, Amherst well aware of what happened with Washington and Lee on Thursday. Washington and Lee generated a lot of chances. They just weren't able to break through the defense of Conn College. Amherst looking for a different result here today, understanding they just have to keep peppering this defense. They want to get Mohamed Nuhu as involved as possible. I thought the Conn College defense did a pretty good job on Nuhu. He's going to get his moments. He had some nice balls in the air that he sent on crossing chances, but not able to get as much room to maneuver making runs up the field, which is a place where he was very dangerous on Thursday.
His fellow All-American is down now for Conn College. That's Matt Scafone. I think he's all right here. Scafone, a big-time goal scorer throughout his career, has 25, including 10 this season. Nuhu, one of the handful of NESCAC players who has more, got his 11th from the spot that proved to be the winner in that semifinal game against Middlebury.
Time of possession numbers, about what we would have expected, 61% for Amherst, 39% for Conn College.
Maybe a chance here for Camels. Marco Perugini just runs out of real estate along the end line. I think Conn College probably okay with the possession numbers. They like to attack in transition. But can you give up 7 more corners and probably, a total of 10 dangerous set pieces when you add in a few free kicks that Amherst had in the first half? Can you do that again and get away with it?
And that is going to be the big question in the second half, because, again, we don't expect for Amherst to change very much about what they were trying to do. Meanwhile, for Conn College, I do think they're trying to get Scafone a little more involved. It is just so hard with the amount of defensive attention that he commands, but he does open up other players. I do think that's why you see a player like Marco Perugini, a player like Sam Beam having a little more room to operate, because Matt Scafone really draws the defense. They're watching what he's doing at all times.
Showed off his strength on the last sequence, then it was Haberman who was fouled. Rye Duran, who had 9 assists during the championship season in 21, on the ball now. 3 goals and 3 assists this season, battling back from multiple ACL injuries. Suffered since his freshman campaign. And line drive ball, it's headed through the edge of the 6-yard box and behind by Haberman.
It's well executed, though. It was the right idea in terms of what Conn College was able to do, trying to give Amherst a little bit of a taste of their own medicine. And that's what Conn College wants a little bit more of. Again, as we told you, they had no corner kicks in the first half. They want to run some of these set pieces. That is how they found their success against Washington and Lee on Thursday.
It's a good win by Niall Murphy. And here's Nuhu out wide, flicked on by Hayton Ruffner and claimed by Sylvester.
And I know Hayton Ruffner a little frustrated there. He knew what he was trying to do with that ball, just not able to place it where Nuhu could get to it before Sylvester. Certainly understand the thought process. Those two work so well together, Mohamed Nuhu and Finn Hayton Ruffner.
Hayton Ruffner, another one who's been involved in so many goals throughout his career. 5 goals, 4 assists this season, but 49 career points for the senior from Albany, California.
I think he's such an interesting story, and a story that I know a lot of young people who don't know his story may be interested to hear, because he grew up playing in the San Jose Earthquakes Academy and scored a lot of goals, had a tremendous youth career, but along the way just lost his love for the game and was ready to hang up his cleats and move on and do something else. Was not even intending to play college soccer, but Justin Serpone and his staff very interested, recruited him, even though Hayton Ruffner not sure he wanted to play. He ends up going to Amherst, rediscovered his love for the game, and you see what he's been able to do in his collegiate career.
Really nice string of possession here for Conn College at the other end. Duran's cross, that has to be dealt with by Kaladauskas.
A fantastic sign here for Conn College that they're generating a little bit here in the opening moments of the second half.
And that was more about possession than the direct style of soccer that led to most of their chances in the first 45. Attacking throw in here for Jorge Mindo.
You have to imagine at halftime they talked a little bit about wanting to control and dictate a little bit more offensively, to not have to be as reactive if possible, even though, as we told you, they are really comfortable playing in all different styles of the game.
Bouncing ball around the 18, away by the Mammoths. Murphy got it out of danger.
More good defense by Murphy, who is so critical. He is the engine for this Amherst team, according to Justin Serpone.
Ball headed out by Dylan Hoke. Mammoths throw in near midfield. Just about 6 minutes into the second half. And the referee stopping play here, reaching for a card. I think it's coming to someone on the Amherst bench. Let's see that Coach Serpone is upset. I'm not sure if it was issued to the head coach or maybe one of the assistants over there.
Certainly getting heated all over the field on the sidelines again. We've told you. And Nuhu and Perugini now having some words with each other. His temper is starting to flare again. It could not be a bigger stage. There could not be more on the line. And when you have two teams that have the rivalry that these two have, coming from the same conference, so familiar with each other, we've told you how many times they have seen each other in recent memory.
The third time this year, the second time this postseason, after Conn College won on penalties in the NESCAC quarterfinals. 2021 championship game played in the NESCAC final in 22 and in the semifinals of the conference tournament last year. So yeah, these teams know each other just a little bit.
And Coach Serpone is still incensed over on the sidelines, but we are back to play, and I think it has been a fantastic start to the second half for Conn College. They've been a lot more organized in terms of what they're trying to do offensively, has not had to be as reactive. Sam Beam battling for possession there for the Camels.
And they win the throw-in. Kalesoglu takes it quickly up for Beam. And back by Amherst. Opoku had a really nice first half. He connects with Hayton Ruffner and then continues his run. This is Opoku. Hoke steps in and won the ball.
Really good defensive tackle by Hoke. We've talked so much about Charlie Miles, but Dylan Hoke is another really integral part of the defense.
Chance here almost out of nothing that Cherico heads over. Now Murphy just never gave up on the play and got the service in from the byline.
You continue to see the benefit that Michael Cherico provides for Amherst. He is a tremendous target inside the box. The exact quote from Justin Serpone.
There's Murphy, that shot. Took a big deflection and it ends up off target, but you can see Niall Murphy trying to fire up his team and the Amherst fans across the way.
Justin Serpone telling us Michael Cherico has been ridiculously impactful. We have seen that in this postseason.
Another service in toward the 18. The Camels get clear. McCarthy and Murphy trying to keep it alive. Now a touch for Sam Beam.
Somehow ended up over on the right side of the field.
Counterattack looks promising here for Conn College. Mindo. Camel player just slipped there.
And really good defense provided once again by Johnny Novak. Doing just enough to be disruptive.
It's Vandenberg who lost his footing. Conn College back on the ball here in the midfield, just over 8 minutes into our second half. Still scoreless in the national championship game. Perugini. Now Haberman working the ball out wide, connects with Scafone. Scafone looking to dance his way inside the 18. Clark Eden had the coverage.
Jeremy, we talked about the fact that it was very different substitution patterns for these two teams in the first half. 9 substitutes for Conn College, 2 for Amherst. We'll see if that makes a difference. So some of the players out on the field perhaps a little fresher for Conn College. And we'll see if those substitution patterns change at all here in the second half.
Too much on the ball for Murphy trying to switch that out wide to Opoku.
It has been a very physical game, and of course when you have physical games like this, there's a lot of wear and tear on the body. Your legs start to get a little tired, and there's so much emotion as well.
Wyatt McCarthy. Served up by Cherico.
Talked a lot about Wyatt McCarthy in this tournament.
Here's Murphy, and that whizzes just wide of the post. It was deflected again, another Amherst corner.
Another nice play, though, by Peter Sylvester. He's not leaving anything to chance. His coverage has been so good. This is well struck.
I think it came off a Conn College defender, but Murphy has had a key role to play in the first 10 minutes of the second half. It's Nuhu now who will take the set piece. For the back post, aimed for Clark Eden, away by Conn College.
But again, well defended by the back line for the Camels. They have done such a good job staying organized on these set pieces. And again, the communication tremendous by Sylvester.
Poku had a swing from the top of the box as Nuhu had won it back in the corner. That goes behind.
And one question mark, can Conn College continue to do what we saw them do in the opening moments of the second half, control more of time and possession, dictate just a bit more, because it feels like Amherst once again settling in, starting to take control, winning some set pieces, being very creative in the middle of the field to advance the ball forward.
Won by Kalinauskas. Opoku. Cherico looking to fend off Haberman, who helped Conn College win it back. Ryder Rand.
Such a savvy play by Scafone, who held off the defender.
Got some space here, and he was caught by Kalinauskas. Yellow card coming out, and a dangerous free kick opportunity upcoming here for the Camels.
Just so much quality and so much intelligence in this series by Matt Scafone. He initially shields the defender, allows his teammate to work the ball through, and then he is able to bring the ball up the field, is fouled, draws a free kick in a really good spot for Conn College. And that's what we've been talking about, what he does off ball, the decisions that he makes. They are so imperative to what the Camels do offensively.
Scafone, the man who drew that free kick that led to the set-piece beauty from Alessandro Horvath-Diano in the semifinal win against Washington and Lee. Much different angle on this opportunity.
And a 4-player wall right in front of Duran and Scafone.
Sam Beam. The drive that one in. It looked like maybe he and Duran got their wires crossed before the free kick was taken.
And that is very unlucky for Conn College because it's a good chance that they had to try to put something on frame. You can tell they were both a little frustrated that that did not play out the way that they had designed it.
It almost worked out anyway with the ball that Beam ended up serving in. Throw in now for the Mammoths. Just over 33 minutes left in the second half. This played by Murphy. This is going back to Conn College.
But again, credit Conn College. Things have looked very different at the beginning of the second half than what we saw at the end of the first. And a chance here for Beam using that tremendous speed.
Not the most convincing clearance initially by Johnny Novak, but he sticks with the play.
And Beam is shaken up on that play, having difficulty staying on his feet. This is nothing serious for Beam. He is so dynamic over on the left side. You see his tremendous speed as Johnny Novak was closing in. So something in that right leg. Looks like he's trying to run it off. A very good sign, and the Conn College fans showing their appreciation for the fact that Sam Beam can continue out on the field.
11 career assists for the senior from Lexington, Massachusetts. 2 of those have come in this postseason. 1 in the NESCAC final when the Camels beat Middlebury. Another in the third round of the NCAA tournament against Kenyon. Beam is coming off here, and he'll be replaced by Matt Kiros Newton.
And that is unlucky for Conn College, and hopefully we'll see him back relatively quickly. Again, looks like something with his right leg after the contact with Johnny Novak.
Tight corners over on that touch line. This is going to be another Conn College throw. A little bit of room to operate. Duran winding up, initial shot blocked. He goes to the left foot and swings it wide.
It's really well orchestrated by Gavin Vandenberg, who's provided some quality on the field today for Conn College in terms of the decision making and the ability to help orchestrate offensively.
Vandenberg has a couple of goals in this tournament against Franklin and Marshall, against Kenyon. Good header on by Chirico. And then Kalesoglu able to nod that back to his keeper.
Well played again by the Conn College defense. They worked so well together.
Long by Hoke. Away by Novak. Lobbed out to the wing by Duran.
We've seen a lot of this from Conn College. They really like to try to play the ball over to the wings. They like to go over to the left side when they can, whether it's Beam on that side, whether it's Kiros Newton, who is out right now for the injured Beam.
Perugini finally muscled off the ball by McCarthy at the top of the 18. Physical play continues as Haberman and Chirico collide.
Really have to give Michael Chirico a lot of credit. He covers so much ground out on the field. The amount of miles that he logged, working his way back and forth, being so dangerous in the box, being a good pivot point in the center of the field. There are just so many intangibles that he brings to the pitch that sometimes you just don't even notice. But he is very effective offensively in what the Mammoths try to do.
Free kick won by Finn Hayton. Ruffner knew who on the ball for the Mammoths here. Approaching the final 30 minutes of the second half. D3 championship game from Las Vegas.
It's a stoppage due to the spot on the field from which Mohamed Nuhu is going to take this free kick.
We have seen today even some of these longer set pieces lead to scoring chances. Jericho got his head to that, nodded back by Miles, and there is Sylvester racing out to grab it right in front of one of the guys who scored for the Mammoths in the semifinals, Kalinauskas.
How many times have we talked about this set piece defense? Peter Sylvester, Charlie Miles, Dylan Hoke. The list goes on. It really has been the biggest key to success in this Final Four weekend for Conn College, their ability to withstand set piece after set piece defensively.
Opoku up for Hayton Ruffner. Mammoths had 61% of the ball in the first half. Similar storyline. The first 16 minutes here of the second period. Throwing on the Connecticut College half now. Change coming for Justin Serpone's team. Not for that man. Ben Clark-Eaton does not leave the field very often, but Luka Ohadike back in. Up top for Amherst, looks like in place of Obed Opoku.
And I thought Luka Ohadike provided some really quality moments in the first half. His speed, his physicality,
now into the game,
his
number 27,
his
Luka
technical ability. You
Ohadike.
can't lose sight of him over on the right
24,
side.
Obed Opoku.
There he is. First touch of the second half. Ohadike making the run in toward the 18. And just fighting hard to maintain possession here.
Drawing a lot of defensive attention, and deservedly so.
See another switch here. And just the third player who's come off the bench today for the Mammoths is Riley Pretty, sophomore from Garrison, New York, who has started 12 games, including the NESCAC quarterfinal against Connecticut College.
Fantastic work by Jericho again, just trying to block the ball, trying to win back possession. His work rate has been outstanding. Fans were wanting a no call there against Johnny Novak.
Nothing doing, and the ball cleared out on top of our press box here. Throw in for Amherst in the 63rd minute. Denzio, who set up the Kalinauskas goal against Middlebury. Cleared away, one back by Clark-Eaton.
He's just so effective defensively, does a great job in the air.
Hayton Ruffner was trying to play that out wide to Ohadike, and it is deflected right back to Peter Sylvester.
Again, great communication with Kalesoglu. Sylvester has been so quick today, making the decisions. He just makes so few mistakes out on the field. You really see what a seasoned goalkeeper he is. His understanding of his role, his ability to direct the defense in front of him, and certainly what we expected, a wave of substitutes from Conn College, just like in the first half.
4 new players out there at once. Spots and Horvath Deanna returning. Also Claire and Crayus.
These are all players for Conn College that can provide big moments. That is one huge benefit that Ruben Burke has. His bench is very deep. He has lots of quality that he can bring into these games, as we've seen in this tournament with Horvath Deanna, with Elliott Spots.
It's one thing to have that kind of depth. It's another thing to have the confidence to use it, to go away from the guys who've started for you, especially in this type of game.
And of course, Coach Burke has the benefit of seeing these players in practice every single day. He knows what they can do. He knows the quality that they bring.
Service by Horvath Deanna. Bouncing ball. There's Landa out to grab it.
Horvath Deanna continuing such a good job on the service of the set pieces.
Brendan Clare.
It is unbelievable how he is able to place
Dylan
the ball.
Number 9, Gavin Vandenberg.
Certainly a big reason he's on the field right now.
Number 7.
Hadeke lost out on the challenge from Creus. Keaton wants that one back, but he was under pressure from Spot. Safety first there to clear that ball away.
Creus, another one I think has provided some quality minutes for Conn College. So again, just talking about that depth. It is a luxury to be able to bring in players of that caliber at this juncture of the game.
Up the field by Murphy. Miles and Sylvester on the same page. Thought our first half was open. This is getting a little bit cagier now. Maybe both teams playing not to make that big mistake that might lead to the other team scoring a winning goal.
And I also just think you're seeing some of the adjustments that have been made because Conn College playing a little differently, having a little more of the possession. They're being very intentional. They're controlling a little bit more, which has disrupted a bit of the fluidity that we saw from Amherst in the first half.
Here's Spots charging through. Spots winding up right at Landa. That strike had a lot of mustard on it.
We told you so. He comes in and he provides dynamic moments for Conn College. You have to keep your eyes on number 12 in blue because in the blink of an eye, he can create.
Mammoth's trying to set something up at the other end. This is Nuhu. Unable to get around Mindo, but he has won a corner.
How many times have we said that today for the Mammoths?
10. They're
And
hitting
counting.
double digits in corner kicks. 7 in the first half. This will be their third of the second half now.
Aiden Curtis has now come in for Amherst, so Justin Serpone starting to go a little bit more to his bench as well.
One-handed punch away by Sylvester.
He is just unbelievable.
Might still be on here for the Mammoths, and that ball locked behind.
Substitution for the Mammoths.
Pretty on the follow-up cross and a corner from the opposite side.
Let's take another look, Jeremy. It just doesn't get old seeing the goalkeeping quality of Peter Sylvester getting the right amount on that ball to push it away from a dangerous spot. But another opportunity coming up here for Denzio, who has been very strong on the services.
There's that great left foot. And Sylvester got both hands to the ball this time to knock it away. Gathered by Pretty. Nuhu. One back for Murphy. Pretty again. Drives that one in toward the back post, sailing wide of everybody through the 6.
Some really good opportunities created there for Amherst, and but for the fantastic goalkeeping of Peter Sylvester, you feel that they would have finally found the back of the net. Beautiful service by Denzio. He has done such a good job all tournament long in terms of facilitating on the set pieces. But Peter Sylvester has read it well all day long. The timing has been impeccable.
Free kick coming up for the Camels here. 21:15 to go in regulation.
And honestly, Jeremy, I think this is exactly the final that we expected. We didn't think that anyone was going to break out with a significant number of goals. These teams are both just so defensively sound. That takes nothing away from the offense that they have on the field. But to get to the tournament final, you have to have a strong defense, and defense has been the storyline of the day.
Euros Newton gets it back inside the 18. Now Creus winding up. That shot skipped off a couple of players. Being blocked by Denzio. Nothing happening really on the follow-up on the opposite side of the 18.
Spots is so hungry for an opportunity. He's had a couple of quality chances since coming in, has not been on the field that long in the second half, and he has already been dangerous in the attacking third. Can they continue to find him? feels like when the ball is at his feet, good things happen. He just has a certain amount of energy that he brings to the pitch.
Great header by Kalesoglu out of the back. Scafone trying to find Kiros Newton, intercepted by Denzio.
Just credit the pressure again around Scafone, not allowing him to get enough weight on that pass because he was well covered by the defense.
Nuhu's ball forward and back by Conn College at Scafone. It's Horvathiano who made the right read, made the interception. Spots Creus looking for space, and Pretty denies it. But the attack not quite done here. The Mammoth struggling to clear the ball, and finally Max Landa will pounce on it.
But another quality chance created by Conn College, and it's some of these guys who have come in off the bench for Ruben Burke who are doing the heavy lifting offensively. Elliot Spots has been very dynamic. Creus has been very dynamic offensively, and they continue to look for them. Credit Scafone for facilitating.
At the other end, though, we will see the 12th quarter of the match for Amherst. Well won by Ohadike.
Very brief rest for Kalinauskas.
He's heading right into the 18 here, no doubt.
And this is why they feel like they have to have him on the field. Of course, one of the goal scorers from Thursday. He's so dangerous in the air. He's a fantastic target. He connected off the corner from Denzio on Thursday.
Substitution
is the latest Denzio corner. It was aimed for Kalinauskas. Didn't miss by all that much. Sylvester threw his arm out, maybe got a poke to that.
Even if he didn't, he was so disruptive in terms of what he was doing. It's so amazing to me that he has such tremendous focus. He never gets distracted by what's going on in front of him. He just zeroes in with laser-like precision on the ball.
Now Nuhu from the opposite side, away by the Campbells. Turned back on by McCarthy. Scafone in the midfield. Denzio, great defense there to break up the counter. Ohadike, another run up the right side. Ohadike, and that is handled again by Sylvester.
And again, Sylvester understanding the angles, positioned perfectly to make that stop. He knows how dangerous Ohadike is. Has such great quality over the ball, good technical skill, can work around the defense, can create space to get the shots off, and that is exactly what Ohadike did right there.
Michael Cherico, just about 17 minutes to go in the second half. We would play up to 20 minutes of overtime. We're back to golden goal in postseason college soccer this year.
Which, as I mentioned earlier this week, I am a big fan of golden goal, and I'm glad that we have changed and gone back to that format. Ohadike continuing to wreak havoc over on the right side, and he's right in front of the Amherst fans who are showing their appreciation as he works his way up the field.
On my way into the stadium today, I saw a group of very young Amherst fans, young meaning just out of college, I assume former players who've been part of other recent appearances in the national championship game. Lost it overtime to St. Olaf last year in Virginia. Lost on penalties in 2021 to this Conn College side, and lost to another NESCAC team, Tufts, in 2019. Potentially another booking here. Let's see what Irving Navarro has in mind. I think just the free kick this time.
Get another look here at the contact, and another opportunity for Amherst. We've got Denzio and Nuhu both over. They're the ones that take a lot of these set pieces from close range. Player wall set up for the Camels. As we've talked about, lots of fantastic targets for the Mammoths lining up to make some runs.
Denzio's ball dealt away by Miles.
Time and time again, Charlie Miles has been massive defensively this weekend. So composed on the back line, has contributed a lot on the clearances.
And again, named the most outstanding player of the NESCAC championship.
You can see why his ability on these set pieces to not let danger happen.
And so Hadake got a touch on that, beg your pardon, that's Aiden Curtis. But off balance, ends up popping it well up and over the goal. Maurice Pigola back in place of Scafone. Wonder if we've seen the last of him, even in the second half here with just over 14 minutes to go.
Aiden Curtis, one of the really fun stories of this tournament, because he's a player that is in a program at Amherst where he's also getting a degree at Dartmouth, which is a special program that Dartmouth has. So we'll graduate with a very impressive academic resume and a very impressive soccer resume.
Chance for Conn College. Denzio, as great as his service has been on set pieces, he's had some big contributions on the defensive end this weekend as well.
We talked a lot about that, just the entire skill set. And again, he's only a first year, so he's one that you absolutely have to keep your eyes on in the future. And Aiden Curtis is going to leave the field, but some good minutes that he has provided. You imagine they want Hayden Ruffner back out there to try to capitalize in the waning moments of this second half offensively. With all of his experience, as we've told you, has scored so many goals collegiately in his youth career, just has a nose for goal. Had one wiped away today off the offsides call.
Replacing number 32, Aiden Curtis.
Throw in on the far side for the Mammoths. 14 minutes remaining, still level at 0-0. Now the referee's giving a free kick.
Again, right in front of the Amherst fans, who have been very vocal as they're closer to their attacking third this half. And they have had quite a bit to cheer about with their team winning these set piece chances, and no surprise, it's going to be Denzio back over the ball. Lots of players lining up on the far post side.
So what can Amherst create? Just like Washington and Lee did against Conn College in the semis, the Mammoths have had a lot of these big set pieces. Sylvester maybe misjudged that initially, makes a tremendous recovery for the catch.
Fantastic adjustment in the air, had to reach behind his head to make that play. Peter Sylvester continuing to be huge, and a great counter here in the makings.
But offside, flag goes up on Spots after the long ball out of the back from Horvath Thieno.
Again, there's no one hungrier on the field right now than Elliot Spots, who's trying to make something happen offensively with the chances that he has.
The super sub, as described by Ruben Burke, has the numbers to back that up, certainly, especially in this NCAA tournament.
What I really loved about Coach Burke's comments is he said that Elliot Spots is always working for the team. It is never about Spots. It's about what he can do for his teammates. And he is so proactive out on the field.
Whistle going against Kiros Newton here. And you can see why there. He had a handful of Jacob Denzio's jersey for about 5 seconds.
Makes it an easier call for the official with the duration of the offense.
Jericho again gets his head to a ball in the air. Horvath Thieno, necessary intervention there against Ohadake. Up the field it comes to Spots, slowed down by Kalinauskas.
Really good play by Kalinauskas, so quickly shutting that down, allowing the defense time to set up. Knows how dangerous Elliot Spots can be in the open field. Did not want to allow him to push the ball further into the attacking third. Well done by Kalinauskas.
Here come the reinforcements again for Connecticut College. Scaffone back out there. Marco Perugini, that is. Duran and Hoke all returning.
This is one of the biggest reasons why you see these substitution patterns by Ruben Burke. He wants these players, specifically Duran, Perugini, and Scaffone, to have fresh legs for these final moments of the contest.
Crossed by Spots. Well, over the head of Scaffone.
And of course, Ruben Burke has the depth in his bench to be able to give those players rest.
Too much on the ball from Hayton Ruffner. Gathered back in by Sylvester. 11 minutes and change remaining here.
One of the easier plays that Sylvester has had to make on the afternoon.
Sylvester in the defense under pressure, calmly steering that ball upfield.
Substitutions for
Mr. Rye Duran.
Great composure by Conn College. As you said, they were under pressure, but handled it perfectly.
And now spots the opportunity. Clark Eden made that a little bit more difficult, and the shot goes sailing wide.
Credit Ben Clark Eden, fantastic timing. He's so composed, doesn't commit the foul, just does enough to disrupt what Elliott Spots was trying to do. Again, that's the experience of a player like Ben Clark Eden, who is just so steady, never gets rattled on the back line for Amherst.
I think Spots heard those footsteps coming and maybe rushed the shot a bit. We are into the final 10 minutes of the second half now. Still no score between these two NESCAC rivals playing for a national title.
And Kalinauskas is back out, so we've seen him quickly in, quickly back out for Amherst as Riley Pretty is back into the contest for the Mammoths.
Got wedged between the back of Scaffone and the chest of Denzio for a moment. Horvat Theano, another win on the defensive side.
College trying to push the ball up into their attacking third. They've done a much better job being disruptive in terms of the sustained possession for Amherst.
Mohamed Nuhu galloping forward, slowed down by Hoke.
And unlucky there for Hoke that it is going to result in another Amherst corner created by Mohamed Nuhu.
14th corner kick of the match coming up for Amherst here. Still looking for the end product.
They've got Ohadike almost trying to shield Sylvester. He was right in front of where Peter Sylvester was, perhaps trying to screen him a little bit. I mean, how else do you try to stop him? And you see that there was a Conn College defender there as well, but I think that was the strategy. Is Peter Sylvester has been such a force defensively that Amherst was trying to limit his ability to be disruptive.
Mammoths back on the attack again on the feet of Nuhu. Murphy. Cleared away by Conn College. Not completely, though. And that did deflect out off the Camels. Nuhu was claiming an Amherst throw, and that is what's been given here.
There's no better advocate out on the field than Mohamed Nuhu. He so quickly signaled that that should be Amherst ball.
A reminder, after we're done here, stick around for the post-game show presented by LG. Mariah Janos will join us and get some coverage from the field, from the championship celebration. We played over 82 minutes, and we are still no closer to having a clue as to who is going to be hoisting the trophy. 7.5 minutes left here in the second half. The possibility of overtime and even penalties looming over this game.
Would you have expected anything else from Amherst and Conn College in the national championship game?
All the way to a shootout when they met in Greensboro 3 years ago. And the Camels prevailed. Free kick right now for Ruben Burke's team.
Well, it's been heated on the field, and it started to get heated in the stands as the Amherst fans were not happy with that call, and the signage over there on the sidelines got the worst of it with how emotional the Mammoth fans are. But everyone here is so invested in this game, as they should be. It has been a good one, but I think a lot easier on the heart for the neutral observer than those who are as invested as the Conn College and the Amherst fans.
Murphy wins the ball, and lots of room here for Nuhu. Racing ahead for Amherst. Is this the moment for the Mammoths? Mohamed Nuhu, Sylvester punches it over.
And really credit Jack Kalesoglu, too, because he got over defensively, made that more difficult for Nuhu. But this is Mohamed Nuhu at his finest. This is Peter Sylvester at his finest. Perhaps the two players to watch coming into this afternoon's game, going head-to-head, 1v1. Peter Sylvester with another heroic play for the Conn College Camels.
Fourth save of the match. He's had a couple of highlight reel stops this weekend, including in that semifinal win against Washington and Lee. Good defense by Conn College on the resulting corner. That was Marco Perugini who got the ball away.
And perhaps one of the first times where I think Amherst did not get the service that they wanted. There was not a lot of height on that ball, and it was much easier for Conn College to defend as a result of it.
You see another sub here for Conn College. Caleb Wong, who saw a bit of action at the end of the first half. Back out there with 5.5 minutes to go.
Substitution for the Camels.
But really no surprise that Conn College continuing to go to their bench quite a bit.
Replacing number 35, Maurice.
Another good run from Ohadike. He's upended there by Kalesoglu. Kakard is coming back out against the Camels defender. Big free kick for Amherst in the 85th minute.
Really good spot here for Amherst right outside of the box. Ohadike, to me, has been a super sub for Amherst. He has come in and brought so much energy, so much skill. He has been so dynamic on the pitch. He has created big moments, and this is a big one that Luka Ohadike has created for the Mammoths.
Looks like it'll be Niall Murphy to take it. Has a dozen goals, including 6 match winners in his career. The senior from Cambridge, Massachusetts. He and Jacob Dinzio exchanging words. You can see Clark Eden, Pretty, among others, congregating in front of the Conn College goal.
This is interesting because it looks like Coach Serpone might not be watching this. We know he did not watch the penalty kick on Thursday. He had his head down, and I was wondering if he was not going to watch it. I couldn't quite see him from the sideline, but that was something interesting that we learned in the post-game press conference, that he does not watch when Mohamed Nuhu takes the penalty kick, so he did not know which side Nuhu had selected. Nuhu mixed it up, did something different, thought that Middlebury had perhaps watched the film and knew which side he prefers, and so I was trying to see if Coach Serpone was watching that free kick by the Mammoths.
It was not a particularly memorable set piece. Murphy, we know, is capable of a lot better.
Substitution.
Kalesoglu did get the yellow card. Next here with Spots, who's running into some space here. Elliot Spots, not much on the shot.
No, and again, credit the Amherst defense because, and you see he's a little frustrated with himself, but Amherst was pressuring. He knew he did not have a lot of space and time to get that shot off. He had to rush it just a bit, and he would love to have that opportunity back.
Down to 4.5 minutes left here in regulation. Aerial battle that Novak ends up winning for the Mammoths. Kalesoglu has to shield off Nuhu, but Mohamed Nuhu kept that ball in play. Coverage good enough, though, for Vathiano getting back, and it's gathered in by Sylvester.
This defense for Conn College continuing to be a brick wall, just not allowing anything to find the back of the net. They have been a massive storyline in this tournament, but Ohadike just keeps pressuring over on the right side.
Here he goes again, Ohadike, the layoff for Murphy. Switch out to the left side.
I really like this lineup that Amherst has out on the field. You have so many dynamic players with Ohadike, Poku, now Murphy,
and Ruffner,
Nuhu. So really a lot of the big players that can create for themselves and can create for others.
It's a different look for the Conn College defense to contend with Nuhu playing a more central position now. Poku looking for Ohadike, who winds up. That shot blocked by Kalesoglu.
Kalesoglu continuing to be really strong defensively as well.
Served back in by Pretty. Campbell's able to deal with that, but now Murphy. Novak into the 18. Aiden Ruffner got to touch Nuhu, and Sylvester dives down to stab the shot.
Such great buildup on that play. Quality all over the field, including from Novak, who had pressed numbers forward for the Mammoths to get involved. But Peter Sylvester, it's just going to take more than that to beat him. Not enough pace on it from Nuhu. Nice diving play. Peter Sylvester. Get another look here again. Fantastic build on this play. Novak involved, Hayden Ruffner involved. The strike by Nuhu, but Peter Sylvester continuing to be a superstar back in net for Conn College.
Save number 5, and again, that figure, as we discussed, doesn't tell the full story. The way he has commanded his 18-yard box in both games here in Las Vegas. Just over 2 minutes left in the second half. No score between Amherst and Connecticut College.
And Chirico calling to get things moving because time of the essence in regulation. Of course, we will go to overtime if there is not a goal scored.
Minute and 45 seconds to avoid extra soccer. There's Claire. Spots.
Chirico's covered so much ground, he's lost a shin guard in the middle of the field in this play.
Well defended by Pretty, and then Ohadike trying to turn on the counter. He gets taken down. And another yellow card coming out. I believe that's going to Horvath Diano.
Again, you would expect this level of physicality in this contest between these two teams. There's just so much history, so much recent history. And when a national title is on the line, both teams giving everything they absolutely have today. It has been all about the defense for both of these two teams.
Confirmation that the goal scorer, the match winner from the semifinal, Horvath Diano, received the yellow card. Header not getting it all the way clear. Then Claire completes the job. Back to Clark Eden. He'll serve one long. And contact while the ball was in the air as Miles, who hasn't made a lot of mistakes today, climbs over the back of Hayden Ruffner. A free kick for Amherst here in the 90th minute.
Right outside the box once again. There have been so many of these opportunities today for Amherst on the set pieces. Looks like it's just going to be Nuhu over the ball.
Had the winner from the spot against Middlebury 2 days ago. Nuhu strikes. Sylvester, another save.
And that was really what he had to do there. He couldn't risk trying to catch it in the air and mishandling it. He had to punch it over the net. Peter Sylvester again, time and time again, answering the call for Conn College. What a tournament, Peter Sylvester.
10.
Yet another corner coming in the dying seconds. Chirico got his head to it, puts it up and over, And 90 minutes will not be enough to pick a winner here in the national championship game. Surprise, surprise, we're going to see more soccer.
And this really sums up a lot of this game. Amherst pressuring, Peter Sylvester answering time and time again. Jericho gets a piece of it. It is not enough. Jeremy, 90 minutes is not enough in this game. I could watch this for another hour. We will not get that amount of time. These two teams have been so fantastic all week long, and we are going to overtime.
Into regulation here in Las Vegas. Golden. For the third time in 4 years in the D3 Men's Soccer National Championship, we are headed to extra time. All three of those games have involved Justin Serpone's Amherst team. Despite 19 shot attempts and 15 corner kicks, the Mammoths unable to find a way to get one past Peter Sylvester, and will play on here in Las Vegas.
It has been the biggest storyline. All of the set pieces won by Amherst here today. All of the defense from Conn College to withstand that pressure. It almost feels like deja vu from what we saw out of Conn College on Thursday. This has been their MO in this week's tournament. Unbelievable what they have been able to do. Peter Sylvester has been the man of the match so far. It has been impossible to get past him. The defense in front of him has been great. We've talked a lot about Charlie Miles, about Jack Kalesoglu, about Dylan Hoke, and others. Meanwhile, for Amherst, I thought that Luka Hadake was a tremendous spark off the bench. He did so much on the field to try to facilitate, particularly in the second half. I loved the lineup that Justin Serpone had out on the field with Ohadike, with Opoku, with Nuhu, with Hayden Ruffner, with Niall Murphy. We'll see if we see that lineup again. That is who I would have on the pitch to start out this overtime period.
Jeremy Franklin, Monica Moore back with you. And an important reminder, we are back to golden goal overtime after a couple of seasons of playing the full 20 minutes. It is sudden victory now. So if either team scores in either of the two 10-minute periods we have in store, then the match is over. That team is the national champion. And if neither team scores, we'll be where these teams were 3 years ago in the title game and where they were in the NESCAC quarterfinals just a few weeks ago. That means a penalty shootout.
So it will be Ohadike out on the field. Opoku will not start for this overtime period. Of course, Nuhu is out for Amherst. They have Jericho, who is such a good target in the air. They've looked for him quite a bit in this contest. Again, Hayden Ruffner has been very dangerous out on the field. Niall Murphy has been the steadying presence that we expected him to be. And I've been impressed all tournament long by Wyatt McCarthy locking things down in the defensive middle of the field. Meanwhile, for Conn College, they are going to start with Gavin Impiana and his speed and strength up top. No surprise, Marco Perugini is out. He has been tremendous. Matt Scafone over on the right side. So we'll see if there have been any adjustments made going into this overtime period in terms of the strategy out on the field.
So First overtime is underway. Both of these teams have seen extra time within this tournament. Both teams have one penalty shootout on their resume. For Amherst, it was the second round against Stevens. For Conn College, a round of 16 against Kenyon. And the Mammoths also beat Wisconsin Superior 3-2 in double overtime in the round of 16 on the Eau Claire campus. Hayden Ruffner, edge of the 18. Oak defending. Hayden Ruffner. Can he get a cross away here? Still has the ball on his feet. Sprays that one in. Sylvester the catch. And he had to make it as Jericho was right behind him.
And Jeremy, a welcome sign. Sam Beam is actually back out on the field. He was walking around. Looked like he was still having a little trouble with that right leg, but he is back out on the field for Conn College, and that is a tremendously welcome sign for the Camels with his pace as they're trying to get the ball over to him over on the right side of the field. So both coaches going with very attacking-oriented lineups. Really no surprise in this golden goal format.
Free kick for the Camels. It's Rye Duran over the ball. A long way out, but it looks like they will try to test Max Landa. And the Amherst defense, only 2 saves for Landa to make in regulation. What can Duran set up here? Let's get the depth he's looking for on that ball. Kolescu got his head to it. Chance for Haberman. And he fires it into the outside of the goal.
Great chance for Haberman, and he is so frustrated with himself because he felt like he had a bit of an opening once Landa went to the ground. And we're going to get another look here. This unfolded really nicely, as you see, coming out to disrupt was Landa. And so Haberman had a chance, could not put that ball on frame. One of the best opportunities that Conn College has had all afternoon long.
Made the outstanding turn inside the 18. Here's Marco Perugini dragging one wide as Landa watches that go behind for a goal kick.
It's going to be hard to beat Landa from that distance on the ground. But credit Conn College, they've gotten a couple of quick opportunities here and have been on the front foot. So a good sign for the Camels.
Sometimes you see a team that had fewer chances in regulation in a game that goes to overtime. They sort of pack it in, play for penalties. You could certainly justify doing that given the career that Sylvester has had in shootouts. It's remarkable. Early chances for Conn College. A throw in for the Camels now at midfield.
Rare miscommunication there from Niall Murphy. It's a turnover. He was looking for Finn Hayden Ruffner, just not on the same page.
That is back out off of Amherst, so still Conn College ball on the touchline, but much farther up the pitch now.
And again, College, strong start in this overtime period. They have done a nice job pushing the ball into their attacking third. Long throw coming up here for Jorge Mendo.
All the way back into the stands here, Mendo.
Out of the stadium.
Ball just bouncing through the 18. It is Niall Murphy who will get there first.
Fantastic effort from Niall Murphy to get to the ball and was trying to spur on a counterattack for Amherst.
Long again by Sylvester. Off the head of McCarthy. Played forward by Hoke. Being connected with that. Grabbed again by Max Landa.
Really nice job by Sam Beam in the air. Impressive play by the senior.
There's Nuhu. Looking wide for Ohadike. Touch inside the 18. Ohadike, Nuhu. Low shot blocked by Hoke, who sacrifices his body again on the follow-up for Ohadike. Now McCarthy looking for Nuhu. That's broken up. And now the offside flag at some point during that sequence went up. But a flurry of chances there for the Mammoths.
And Peter Sylvester can finally exhale. He was all over the place. His defense was all over the place. Dylan Hoke came up with some really good moments defensively on that series. And a card will be issued. Again, the temper is just running exceptionally high right now. Amherst felt like they were knocking on the doorstep. So many quality chances here. Newton and Ohadike creating at their best. But again, the defense doing such a nice job coming over to cover. Oak was there. Kalesoglu was there. And yet again, Amherst shut down.
Dylan Hoke just threw his body in the way to make sure that Sylvester didn't have another save to make. It was Nuhu who got the yellow card. Opportunities for both teams as we are just past the midway point of the first overtime period. Another 10 if neither team can score in the next 4.5 minutes.
A lot of players out on this field have logged a lot of miles on the day so far, and it has just been so physical and so emotional. I have to imagine that they're starting to feel that.
Enzio's run continued by the play for McCarthy. Hayton Ruffner out to Nuhu. Looking for space. Nuhu's drive. McCarthy got his foot to it, but puts it off target.
Mohamed Nuhu has come alive in this overtime period for Amherst. He has been so dynamic in the attacking third. Have not seen as much of this from him today until this time, but Mohamed Nuhu, four-team All-American, he is going to give everything he has on the field right now, and he has been generating a lot for Amherst.
Really difficult volley attempt from Wyatt McCarthy. It was Nuhu who did the work to set things up there. One by Cherico. Now Murphy up to Hayton Ruffner.
Into the game, number 12, Elliott Spots.
Elliott Spots and Matt Kiros Newton both back out there now for Connecticut College. There is Kiros Newton. It's Nuhu who wins the ball.
That was a big question mark. How quickly before we see Elliott Spots back out on the field?
And Ruffner's cross bouncing through the 6 out of the reach of both Cherico and Ohadike.
Well, the offensive forces for Amherst are certainly creating a lot. We talked about Nuhu. Hayton Ruffner as well. Good chance trying to facilitate from outside.
Camels pinned back with this throw. Long from Horvathiano. Scafone. A lot of traffic there.
Pressure. Shut down College's attempt to push the ball into their attacking third. On College starting this overtime period with some good moments offensively. A good sign for the Camels, but now Amherst has taken over.
Spots finds Kiros Newton, but his pass picked off by Niall Murphy.
Now Murphy is so quick out on the field, getting to the loose balls.
Here is Nuhu going back to work. The layoff for Murphy. Kiros Newton defending. Nuhu will take the quarter kick. 16th of the match coming up for the Mammoths, their first in overtime.
And no surprise that they're looking to get Kalinowskis out on the field. Perhaps not before this corner, and I think Nuhu was intentionally trying to got a little space around the defense.
Mohamed Nuhu's corner. Sylvester, another key play from the Conn College goalkeeper.
Once again, the timing perfect. The way that he has managed his box during the set pieces today, it has been a master class by Peter Sylvester.
Swung high by Denzio. Hayton Ruffner collects that well, but now he is surrounded and somehow manages to hang on to the ball.
Hayton Ruffner just brings so much quality out on the field. He is so involved. Such touches on the ball.
O'Hadike was caught there. And much to the chagrin of the Camels, they have another set piece to defend, this time a free kick.
Looks like it's going to be Nuhu once again. Not sure what's going on with Kalinauskas. He's been over by the scores table. They have not yet brought him back in. He is such a good target on these set pieces.
Final minute of the first overtime period. Another service coming from Mohamed Nuhu. Toward that back post. Falls to Pretty. Riley Pretty. Trying to find the angle for another cross. Just directs that one into the 18, and it's away by Spots. Back in by Dinzio. All the way through for a goal kick, and that should take care of the first overtime session.
And once again, Conn College survives the barrage of set-piece opportunities created by Amherst. I thought that Mohamed was absolutely tremendous in that first overtime period, as was Again, these players just not ready for this one to be over, and we are very excited to see yet another
Jeremy Franklin, Monica Moore with you at Peter Johann Memorial Field. Mariah Janos will join us for the post-game show presented by LG, but we are not ready for a post-game yet, as we have not determined a winner here in the national championship game, heading to a second overtime, 0-0 between Amherst and Conn College. The first 10-minute extra session, I think, unfolded pretty similarly to what we saw in the 90 minutes of regulation. The occasional chance for Conn College, but a lot of opportunities for the Mammoths, and a lot of tremendous goalkeeping again from Peter Sylvester.
That's right. I would have expected nothing less in our first overtime period. Peter Sylvester was sensational. He has been all week long for Conn College. Some bright moments offensively. They got some chances, but Amherst started taking over in the latter stages of our first overtime period. Mohamed Nuhu was so creative with his ability to generate offense. O'Hadike, he is an X factor out on the field. Finn Hayden Ruffner has been a factor all game long. So we shall see if we finally see a goal in this one, or if we go to penalty kicks. It would seem fitting if we did between these two teams. Really, both of these teams have played to their strengths today. It has been a very evenly matched contest. When you think about the defense of Conn College, you think about the offense of Amherst. It has been staggering, the number of set-piece opportunities that Amherst has won in this game, but Conn College has found an answer every single time defensively.
We have almost lost track of the number of corner kicks for Amherst. It is 17 now.
Is that all?
That's all. Not a single corner for Conn College. They have had some opportunities on free kicks and, of course, in the run of play. But double overtime here. Again, this is a golden goal scenario. If either team scores within the next 10 minutes, that team wins the national championship. If neither team scores, penalties. It's Conn College early and Clark Eden. More excellent defending from the Amherst veteran.
But it feels like that's how it's been for a lot of this game. Conn College will come out of the break all fired up, but then Amherst wears them down a little bit, starts to win time of possession. Nuhu with a tremendous burst of speed.
Dispossessed in the end by Dylan Hoke. Big header forward by Haberman, and then he was caught late by McCarthy. Free kick for the Camels.
Haberman has been tremendous. He has logged a lot of minutes today for Conn College. He is so important in the middle of the field for the Camels. They just can't take him off the field for what he provides.
Oak for Conn College just over a minute into this second overtime. Too much on that. Despite the hustle of Caleb Wong, it's an Amherst goal kick.
It was a valiant effort from Caleb Wong, who is feisty and opportunistic and never gives up on loose balls, and you saw it right there. He is very dynamic, and Conn College certainly looking to capitalize on that, and certainly also a player who is not short on confidence, and that's what you want on the field right now, someone who is not afraid to go for that big game moment.
102nd minute of action in the title game. Impey out of the touch off the throw. Partially away by Amherst. And then Murphy fouled there by Brendan Clare. Mammoths will get a free kick on their own half.
So it looks like Riley Pretty will take this. Waiting for all of his players to push forward.
Just taking any opportunity to send numbers toward the other goal, put some pressure on the opposing defense. Conn College will have a throw-in its own end. 2021 national champions beating the Mammoths on penalties in the title game. Mammoths returned to the final last season, lost in overtime to St. Olaf. Long the header.
Every ball heavily contested, nothing easy out on the field right now. It has been fast, it has been physical. You really cannot blink because there's so much action out on the field. Really, it's a credit to both of these two teams, the programs that they represent. They just take so much pride in every single thing that they do.
That was one of the points that Justin Serpone made when we chatted with him before championship weekend. He was extending this to both Middlebury and Washington and Lee, the other semifinalists. These are not just teams that have had great seasons. These are programs that have established themselves in the upper echelon of Division III soccer.
They do things the right way. The players that come through these programs, they are so disciplined. They work so hard. The work rates are so high out on the field. They compete to the highest levels. This has just been a fun game to watch between these two teams, and really all of the games that we've had this week.
Here's O'Hadake Hoke with another big block.
You saw how smart he was, keeping his hands behind his back, did not want to risk any handball situation. Just almost instinctive for Dylan Hoke.
Goal kick coming up for Peter Sylvester here. Coach Serpone also told us that he thought any potential matchup here in Las Vegas was a coin toss, and we saw that in the semis. 2-1 Amherst over Middlebury, 1-0 Conn College ousting Washington and Lee, and all the way into double overtime here in the championship.
So Matt Scafone has come back out on the field for one more big push for Conn College.
5.5 minutes to go.
Substitutions
Both of these teams right now
into the game, number 6.
just trying to get the slightest advantage against their opponents. It has been so difficult today to find open spaces. The defense has closed in so quickly. Everything has been contested. Look at the speed of Elliott Spots.
Catches up to that long ball from Horvath Diano. There's no one waiting for that cross except for Max Landa.
Might have been better served there to try to generate some type of corner off the defense, because he had no teammates there to try to receive the ball and no angle to create a shot.
Past the midway point of our second extra time period. Here's O'Hadake. Switches to the left foot, puts the cross behind Cherico.
It was the right idea, and it was the game plan all along for Amherst, sending in those aerial balls, looking for Michael Cherico. for Finn Hayden Ruffner in the air.
Throw in the attacking third now for the Mammoths. Hayden Ruffner back for Denzio.
Phone got the worst of that one.
Good defense from the All-American for Conn College.
He's been really strong today. Again, the amount of defensive attention that Matt Scafone commands when he is out on the field.
Wins the free kick for his team with just about 3.5 minutes left. That is all that is separating our title game from a penalty shootout. Header on by Rajaran, but a routine pickup there for Landa. Seems in no rush to punt this ball away. Off the head of Clare.
Header in the air by Brendan Clare. Again, you just see how deep the Conn College bench is, because they have brought in a number of different players at different junctures. This has been carefully orchestrated by Ruben Burke. Personnel that he has out on the field in different moments has tried to save the legs of some of his players.
Certainly have gone much deeper into their bench today than have the Mammoths. 2.5 minutes to go. Ooh, Hayden Ruffner took the ball right in the head as Mindo was just trying to launch it up the field.
This is a scary moment here. It always is. When there's that type of contact to the head, the ball in pretty close range hit Hayden Ruffner in the head, and he is an absolute warrior out on the field. But this is a moment where you have to be really careful anytime there is a potential head injury. This is just unlucky for a player who has been so dynamic out on the field, and you know that he wants nothing more than to be out on the pitch with his team. Hope this is nothing serious for Hayden Ruffner.
And you saw, too, that it was Jorge Mindo, the Conn College player, who sent that ball forward. It was the first to go over and check on Hayden Ruffner.
And clearly nothing intentional there. That's just a player working to clear the ball out of his defensive third of the field, and it's a player in Hayden Ruffner who is trying to win the ball back for his team. But again, he is an absolute warrior, is Finn Hayden Ruffner. He is right back, looking to come back into this game, which is a welcome sign.
A little more than 2 minutes left here in the second overtime. We've seen maybe just a bit more caution from both teams in this period compared to the first extra session. Wanting to make that mistake that could lead to a winner for the other team. Throw-in coming up for the Camels.
And you see, because every call just feels momentous at this point in the game. So the players so invested in every decision made by the officials. And an opportunity here for Conn College. Again, they have been on the defensive third of the field for them quite a bit in this game. Any chance they get offensively is a welcome sign for the Camels.
Jericho got the defensive header, and that swung goalwards, and Landa had some work to do on the attempt there for Jack Kalesoglu.
It's well struck by Kalesoglu. The right amount of weight, really pushing and testing Max Landa in the air.
1 minute remains in overtime, number 2.
110th and final minute of open field play here in Las Vegas.
And the fans doing everything they can to try to spur their respective teams on. Wow, have they been in for a treat today. Definitely worth the price of admission to see a game of this caliber.
Thrown back in by Kalesoglu, under 30 seconds to go. Spots into space. Clark Eden the clearance away from Horvath Diano. Is there enough time for one final chance? Maybe here for the Camels. Clark Eden has other ideas. Launch back toward the 18. Denzio keeps that away from Scafone. Spots sends it sailing high and wide, and we will go all the way to a penalty shootout, just like these two teams did 3 years ago in the national title game.
It absolutely feels fitting that we head to penalty kicks. These two teams so even today, both doing what they excel at on the field with all the history between these two squads. This is not surprising in the slightest. What a contest. College, Amherst, you could not get a final better than this one.
It's been a tremendous 110 minutes of action. Amherst has had more of the chances, certainly, and so many set-piece opportunities. Peter Sylvester, tremendous again. Every once in a while, you would see the Camels with that transition style of soccer that has been working so well for them in this postseason create a big chance, and there was one pretty late that Max Landa had to deal with.
And you got to see on your screen Max Landa coming off the field. Now you see Peter Sylvester. Max Landa had a massive smile on his face, was really trying to rally his team, exuding confidence. Peter Sylvester has a different demeanor. He is all business. He is calm, cool, collected. You don't see the big highs. You don't see the big lows. Not that Peter Sylvester has had any lows this week here in Las Vegas, but just very interesting seeing the two different styles and personalities of Landa and Sylvester.
Max Landa, we were talking about the injuries. He did not play in the first game, the regular season meeting. He did not play in the 110 minutes in the NESCAC quarterfinals, but he did come on for penalties in the conference tournament. Meanwhile, Peter Sylvester, 8-0 in penalty shootouts in his career. That's in the Conn College notes. We're not trying to jinx Sylvester, who has just been outstanding. He's won 3 in the NESCAC tournament. He's won 5 in the NCAAs. And like Landa did against Sylvester's Camels in the NESCAC tournament this season, you go back 3 years ago, Sylvester came in for the penalty shootout and helped his team capture the national title against this Mammoths program.
But what we're hearing is there's a lot of experience
in
these big game moments out on the field for these two teams, which can be very comforting. And you see Peter Sylvester, he's over with the officials, giving them high fives. What a contest he has had. He has been the more tested today of the two goalkeepers. He has had more to do. That was certainly our expectation, with the understanding of these two teams coming into this tournament final, and certainly given what we saw from him on Thursday. But two extremely capable goalkeepers. You see Conn College, they're already out on the field, giving high fives, looking very loose, looking very comfortable in this moment. And I think from their perspective, given the number of set-piece chances generated from Amherst today, they feel very much like they felt against Washington and Lee on Thursday. They've weathered the storm. They've put themselves in this position because they are so strong defensively.
The penalty shootout in the NESCAC quarterfinal. Conn College won 4-2. 2 saves from Peter Sylvester after he had made 10 stops during the match itself. And the penalties were converted by Scafone, Spots, Marco Perugini, and then the decisive kick from Gavin Impiana. And worth noting, too, college soccer, you don't have to be in the game at the end of overtime to take a penalty. If you're on the active roster, you are eligible, and that's why goalkeepers likewise can come on for shootouts even if they haven't played in the match. But no goalkeeping change needed this time with Landa and Sylvester.
We certainly were not anticipating any goalkeeping changes, barring injury, at this juncture of the game. And again, such a luxury for both of these two coaches to have goalkeepers the caliber of Max Landa and Peter Sylvester in this moment. Obviously, always a chess match in terms of the players you are going to send forward to take the penalty kicks. But it does not get more exciting than this, in my opinion, to go to penalty kicks.
National championship on the line. Conn College will go first, and like he did in the NESCAC quarterfinal, Matt Scaffone will take the opening penalty for his Camels team.
So calm, so collected. Ever the captain, ever the leader is Matt Scaffone.
So round one of our penalty shootout here in the national title game on the Nevada-Las Vegas campus. And Scaffone denied by Landa.
What a stop by Max Landa. Guessed the right way, dove on the ground. Perfect decision making, and you see he guessed ahead of time. Made the right decision. This is so well done by Max Landa, and exactly the start that Amherst needs.
So can the Mammoths capitalize? Mohamed Nuhu was up first in the NESCAC tournament. He'll open things here in round one, trying to give Amherst the lead. Scored the penalty that propelled this team into the championship game in the run of play, the winner against Middlebury on Thursday. And Nuhu, calm little chip inside the post. Amherst leads after one round.
The stutter step, if you remember the post-game press conference on Thursday, he said, I really like taking penalty kicks. I'm good at it. A little hesitation, waited for Peter Sylvester to make his move, and he absolutely buries it. Big-time players in big-time moments deliver. Mohamed Nuhu comes up for Amherst.
Marco.
Pressure on already for Conn College, and it's Marco Perugini trying to get the Camels on the board. Perugini has a long think, and he delivers as he got Landa to go the wrong way.
That's right, Landa again. Diving to the same side, going to his right. Perugini with so much composure on this play. And again, that was a guess by Landa, and Perugini buries it in the other side. What a tournament he has had, Marco Perugini.
Finn Hayton-Ruffner will try to restore the Mammoths to the lead to close out round two. And there is Sylvester, another bit of magic for him in a shootout.
We certainly expected it, given the tournament that Peter Sylvester has had, given the career that Peter Sylvester has had. He guessed the right way. He saw the body language of Hayton-Ruffner. He knew where he was going. Another clutch play by Peter Sylvester, and we are all knotted up.
15th career penalty shootout save for Sylvester. So 2 rounds in the books, 1 apiece. Elliott Spots up next for Conn College.
And a rare show of emotion from Sylvester. Elliott Spots, all the energy has been waiting for this moment.
Took and made the third penalty in the NESCAC quarterfinal. And Spots misses. Just dragged that one wide.
And that is unlucky for Spots. He is not able to put that on frame because Landa was going to the other side. He thought Spots was going to shoot to Landa's left. So an opportunity here for Amherst.
Number 26.
And a player we have not seen all weekend. It's Jacob Lalou, the freshman from Denver. What a big moment to try to give the Mammoths the lead. Made just 4 appearances this season. His last game action came at the end of October. But no problem for the rookie Lalou on the mark, and it's 2-1 Amherst.
We talk about this all the time. These first years sometimes just don't feel the pressure of the moment that the upperclassmen do. And ice water in his veins. Lalou looked so confident every single second of that play. and immediately turns to the Amherst bench and celebrates.
Gavin
Impiana up next for Conn College. Had the winning PK in the shootout in the conference tournament. And Landa with the big denial, his second save of the shootout, and the Mammoths on the verge here.
Max Landa was not called upon very much during the run of play during this game, but Max Landa is coming up massively for the Mammoths right now. He has come up with 2 big stops in this moment. You could not ask for more from Max Landa.
Niall Murphy has had an excellent game. He's had an outstanding career. He can clinch the title for Amherst here in round 4. Niall Murphy, Sylvester with the key save, and the Camels have life.
And Peter Sylvester with the answer. We knew that we had 2 top-notch goalkeepers heading into this penalty shootout, and both of them have delivered in spades. Again, you can't ask much more from your goalkeepers. 2 stops for both of them on these initial opportunities. Peter Sylvester and Max Landa, 2 of the absolute best in Division I men's soccer, Division III men's soccer.
Round 5, Jake Krayos has to score, and he does. Cool as you like. And Conn College pulls even, but another chance for the Mammoths to win it here.
And a lot of pressure on the shoulders. And again, we're going to take another look here. Krayos, who is so much quality off the bench. Now, interestingly, Sam Davis, another freshman, Jeremy, is going to step up to take this chance for Amherst.
And another player whom we have not seen here in Las Vegas so far. Lalou delivered, and now it is the New York native Sam Davis trying to win it for Amherst, and Sylvester continues to excel in these situations. Our shootout will continue.
Peter Sylvester, unbelievable. There just are not words to describe what we've seen out of him on Thursday and today. And to come up with your 3rd big stop on pens in the national final. Oh my goodness, what a day for Peter Sylvester.
So we are on to round 6, sudden victory now. We will continue doing this until one team scores and the other misses. Max Haberman delivers. Conn College has the lead.
Max Haberman today has done everything that Conn College has asked of him, and he converts on a massive penalty kick. And the question on everyone's minds as we take another look here, Haberman, Landa went to the opposite side. Does Sylvester have another save in him? Does Jacob Denzio have a little more magic in him?
The freshman parade continues for the Mammoths here, but a difference in the Denzio has played a huge role in both games here at UNLV. Has to score to keep things going, and he does.
Oh, my goodness. Upper 90 for Denzio. No fear. A lot of players choose to keep those balls on the ground. That is a gutsy choice by Denzio, and perhaps it takes a gutsy choice to beat Peter Sylvester.
So 6 rounds complete, 3 makes a piece. And the man who scored the match winner in the semifinals on a free kick, Alessandro Horvathiano. Next up for Conn College. And Landa, he's made some huge stops here in the shootout. Another denial for the Amherst keeper.
And again, Max Landa making the right decision, doing such a good job with the coverage. Take another look here. This is so well done by Max Landa.
Simon Kaladauskas scored in the semifinal. The Mammoths another opportunity to win the program's 2nd national title here in round 7 of our penalty shootout.
He has been so huge in this tournament for Amherst. And a massive moment for Kalinauskas right now.
Simon Kalinauskas for Amherst smashes it home, and the Mammoths finally break through to win the national championship. 7 rounds of penalties in Las Vegas. Amherst takes the title.
And what an effort from the Mammoths in penalties. Both goalkeepers absolutely tremendous, but Amherst has been knocking on the doorstep for this moment for so long. Justin Serpone joked with us that if you need a statement from someone who has lost a national championship game, he's your person. He knows how to give that statement. Well, today, Jeremy, he is going to be able to give the statement after the game as the coach who has just won a national championship here in Las Vegas.
The second for Coach Serpone, and the second in program history for Amherst, all the way into a 7th round of penalties. We saw 3 saves from Peter Sylvester, 3 saves from Max Landa, and it's Simon Kalinauskas who delivers the winning penalty kick. 4-3 in the shootout. We'll take another look. Kalinauskas just hammers this ball out of the reach of Sylvester.
What a hero he has been on Thursday, scoring the first goal for Amherst and scoring the winning penalty kick today. And we saw them shuffling him in and out of the game. I wasn't sure if he was dealing with some type of nagging injury or what the strategy was there by Coach Serpone, but I know Coach Serpone very happy to have Simon Kalinauskas to take that last and definitive penalty kick.
We welcome you now to the post-game show presented by LG, and we're going right down to the field with Mariah Janos.
Coach, congratulations. I know you're having an incredible moment with your daughters here right now, but this really took us back to 2021, really ending in the same fashion, but you guys were able to flip the script against Connecticut College. How were you able to do it?
I mean, this team has been so resilient the whole year, and I'm a little bit of a loss for words right now. I do want to shout out Conn College, though. What an incredible program they are. Coach Burke and Peter and all these guys, Scafone, and so much to be proud of. So we're just, penalty kicks are it's a crapshoot, right? And we were on the losing end of it a couple years ago. Just pumped to be on the winning end of it today.
Yeah, what was going through your mind as you entered the PKs?
Just belief. I believe in these guys. We've been through everything together. It was never going to be easy, and I think we just stuck with it, kept grinding, and I'm so happy for them.
Second championship in the last 9 years, second in program history. How's it feel?
It feels great. I mean, for me, whatever. I just want to come home at the end of the day to my kids and my wife. But for these guys, these are memories that are going to last forever. And so I'm so happy for them, and for me, whatever, it's such a pleasure, and I'm so proud of every single guy on that field.
Coach, go celebrate with your team and your family. Congratulations.
Thank you so much,
guys.
All right, thank you, Mariah. Great words from Justin Serpone. Not about him, about his players, and we certainly got that perspective when we had a chance to speak with him several days before everyone came out here to Las Vegas.
Well, the big takeaway that you got from Justin Serpone's comments is family is everything to him. His personal family and this team is his family as well. And to be able to see these players achieve something that a lot of them have been working to achieve and have come up short, and to have it today. Now, the one thing I would like to know from Coach Serpone, we know he did not watch Mohamed Nuhu's penalty kick on Thursday. How much of the penalty kicks did he watch today? I don't know if that's superstition. I don't know what it is, if it's just nerves. But it was something to see today. His goalkeeper, Max Landa, when he was called upon, I thought Max Landa was absolutely tremendous. Players stepping up who we had not even seen in the contest to take these penalty kicks. And what I loved about Coach Serpone's comments, and there's no surprise, is all the credit and all the warm words that he gave to Conn College, because what a week they've had, what a postseason run they've had. Ruben Burke and his team, they have really given us to see all tournament long. They have so many reasons to be proud, and Peter Sylvester, I think, has been absolutely tremendous in this tournament.
This was a Camels team that probably is not in the NCAA tournament if they don't go out and get the AQ, if they don't win the NESCAC tournament. They put the pieces together, extended that run all the way here into the championship game, all the way into penalty kicks. Come out on the wrong end this time after they beat Amherst in the shootout in Greensboro in 2021. You get a look there at Peter Sylvester, just absolutely fantastic. I don't think they beat Washington and Lee if not for his heroics. I don't think we get to overtime, much less penalties, if not for the saves that he made. And on top of this official stops, the way he patrolled his 18 throughout the 110 minutes today.
To me, he was the standout on the field today for the entirety of the game. And I think, Jeremy, to your point, Conn College is not here without their defense. Defense is what propels you on runs like this. I thought that Peter Sylvester was tremendous. We talked a lot about Charlie Miles, Jack Kalesoglu, Max Haberman, Dylan Hoke. All of the defense, they came up so big today to force this overtime period, to force penalty kicks. But for Amherst, they had so much momentum. They created so many chances. We talked about this. 17 corner kicks in this match. 0 for Conn College, 17 for the Mammoths. They outshot the Camels 24-13. They worked so hard offensively. They have so much depth in that starting lineup in terms of players that can be dangerous. And you saw the depth on the bench, because what difficult decisions that Justin Serpone makes to bring in some of those freshmen in PK moments who have not had opportunities today out on the field, the amount of trust that he has in those players. He really understands what they can do. He watches them practice penalties in practice. He knows who are the players that have the likelihood of coming up big. And again, I can't say enough about Max Landa, because not as tested during the game, but wow, when the penalty kick started, Max Landa was all over it, ice water in his veins. You could not have asked more from him, and he is a massive reason that Amherst has won the national title.
Just the mentality of this Mammoths team. Losing a shootout to Conn College just a few weeks ago in the NESCAC quarterfinals. There's still some holdovers from the 2021 runner-up team that lost the shootout to Peter Sylvester and Connecticut College back 3 years ago.
And this story for Max Landa, they thought he was graduating. He had an injury in the offseason. He worked to get back on the field. He played. He hurt his shoulder. He had to rehab the shoulder. He plays a little bit more and he pulls a quad, but he keeps coming back. He keeps doing the work. He has worked so tremendously hard to get to this moment today, and it was almost pure perfection out of Landa during the penalty shootout.
A national title is special, as we heard Coach Serpone say, to memory that will last a lifetime. I think it's just a little bit more special for the Mammoths because they've been so close in the past couple of seasons, including the shootout against Conn College in 2021 and the overtime game against St. Olaf last year.
But, you know, and we've heard Coach Serpone talk about this. He almost has he has so much empathy for the teams that are not winning because he has been there. He understands what it is like to be in the moment where you have lost the title game. And there's a lot of these Mammoths that know what it is like to lose the title game. But this was their year. They were absolutely so strong all week long in terms of the opportunities that they generated. They worked together so cohesively as a unit. That is so much of a credit to Coach Serpone and his staff, to the character of these young men, the resilience coming back into this title game, knowing that they've lost several times before for some of these players. And it was an impressive showing today from the Mammoths. And frankly, it's hard to just pick out one player for them in this contest. Max Landa, He is one that you absolutely would have to pick out because of the penalty shootout. But when you think about the game and the big game moments, Nuhu has had a tremendous tournament. He was a factor today. Hayden Ruffner was a factor today. Niall Murphy, always a factor. The defense as well. They had some moments where they were tested. We were impressed with Cherico. And then, of course, how could you forget Simon Kalinauskas, who comes up with the clutch penalty kick to seal the deal.
An authoritative penalty as well to just drive it home out of the reach of Sylvester, clinch the second national title in program history, and the second under head coach Justin Serpone. Going to head down to the field right about now for the post-game presentation. Trophy coming out in just a moment for the 2024 national champs from Amherst.
UNLV and the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority for their partnership, commitment, and success in hosting this national championship. Starting today's ceremony, we would like to present the 2024 NCAA Division III Men's Soccer All-Tournament team. At midfielder from Middlebury College, senior Tyler Payne. At forward from Middlebury College, senior Kyle Nilsson. At midfielder from Washington and Lee, senior Asa Tuki. At defense from Washington and Lee, senior PJ Ryan. At defense from Connecticut College, senior Alessandro Harodiano. At defender from Connecticut College, freshman Dylan Hagen. At defense from Connecticut College, sophomore Charlie Miles. At defense from Amherst College, senior Ben Clark Eden. At forward from Amherst College, sophomore Luca Ohadulu. At goalkeeper from Amherst College, senior Max Landa. The most outstanding defensive player from Connecticut College is senior Peter Silver. And the most outstanding offensive player is from Amherst College, senior Finn Hayden Ruffner. Fans, let's hear it for your 2024 All-Tournament team.
What they're doing. They're switching back and forth.
And now we would like to recognize our national champion runner-up. Presenting the awards is the chair of the men's committee, Brian Marcantonio, and members of the National Soccer Committee. The national runner-up in this year's NCAA Division III Men's Soccer Championship, finishing with a record of 14-2-8, the Connecticut College Camels. Will the following individuals please come forward to receive your awards? TJ Krongard, Casey Shea, Peter Sylvester, Thomas Rooney, Sam Bean, Dylan Hope, Alessandro Horvatiano, Marco Perugini, Rye Gerard, Gavin Vandenberg, Noah Sides, Luke Sabelli, Elliot Spatz, Matt Scapone, Gavin Empiana, Jorge Bendo, Max Haberman, Jake Crayus, Owen Walsh, Caleb Wang, Cameron Merrill, Charlie Emery, Charlie Regal, Brendan Clare, Jack Kalesadlu, Christian Perugini, Jack Lavorel, Charlie Miles, Matthew Sherricks, Anish Reed, Matt Kiros Newton, Aiden Keith, Samuel Brockelman, Maurice Pigola, Kevin Huang, Max Weiss, Henry Lester. And now will the team captains please come forward to accept their team trophy. Congratulations to Connecticut College on a fantastic season. Fans, let's give all these outstanding student athletes, coaches, and the staff a round of applause. And now, the 2024 NCAA Division III Men's Soccer National Champion, finishing with a record of 16-2-4, the Amherst College Mammoths. Will the following individuals please come forward to receive your awards? Juan Perez, Lucas Cyril, Max Landa, Carter Agonia, Lorenz Tencate, Riley Fritty, Ugnius Salvinus, James Street, Niall Murphy, Andrew Temante, Lucas Liu, Ignacio Subedu, Johnny Novak, Jacob Dincio, Joseph Raymond, Wyatt McCarthy, Adrian Trott, Enoch Duodu, Michael Jericho, Sam Davis, Micah Valadas Bush, Ioannis Hajianias, Mohammed Nuhu, Ben Clark Eden, Obed Opoku, Jacob Lalu, Luca Ohadike, Finn Hayden Ruffner, Aiden Curtis, Simon Kalinauskas, Trey Shepard, and Ryan Gomez. And will the team captains please come forward to accept their trophy? And congratulations to the Amherst College Mammoths, your 2024 NCAA Division III Men's Soccer National Champions.
Celebration time for the Mammoths of Amherst College, the 2024 D3 national champions. What an exhilarating contest we saw between Amherst and their NESCAC rivals, Conn College, here today.
And it was really all about the defense, which you can tell from the score line, and you look at the all-tournament team, and it's really reflective of that defense. A lot of the selections were members from the defensive units from both of these two teams. Max Landa making it onto the list, along with Ben Clark-Eden for Amherst, and a lot of representation from that Conn College defense. You look at Hoke on the list. You look at also Charlie Miles on the list. No surprise that Peter Sylvester was the tournament's most outstanding defensive player. He truly was, I think, the standout all week long. That was no surprise. And really congratulations to our tournament's most outstanding player. And again, no surprise there, Finn Hayden Ruffner was such a controlling presence in the middle of the park all tournament long.
Take a look at some of the action during this contest here on the UNLV campus. Lots of physicality throughout. As we told you, this was the 9th time these teams had squared off in 4 seasons, including the 3rd time this year alone.
And we saw that physical play right from the opening kickoff. Both teams battling so hard, creating opportunities in the box on a lot of these set pieces. We even had whistles before some of the set pieces were taken. It was so physical. This was a big moment. This goal was called offsides. That was Finn Hayden Ruffner. We had the VAR review. The official reviewed it pretty quickly and concluded that it was offsides. Conn College kept battling. Max Landa coming up big there in the run of play for Amherst, and another good chance there. Mohamed Nuhu testing Peter Sylvester back in net once again. Peter Sylvester would be tested time and time again. A late header attempt by Cherico, and Jeremy, it would go to PKs.
Not just penalties, but 7 rounds of penalties. Both Landa and Sylvester making 3 saves apiece in the shootout. But in round 7, after Landa's 3rd save, we saw his teammate Simon Kalinauskas come up with the decisive kick.
I thought Simon Kalinauskas was tremendous all tournament long. He had the goal in the semifinals that put Amherst on the scoreboard first. He had the clutch PK to end it. He looked so calm and composed when he stepped up to take that opportunity. It's what you would expect from a senior who has been in big game moments. He was such a massive factor today for Amherst. I thought he had such an amazing week. Congratulations to the Mammoths, but congratulations to Conn College too. They gave Amherst everything that they could handle out on the field, and as you said, it came down to 7 rounds of penalty kicks.
Nuhu, Lalu, Denzio, and Kalinauskas, the players who made the 4 penalties in those 7 rounds for Amherst to deliver The program's second national title, but their first since 2015 after the Mammoths finished as runners-up in 2019 to this Conn College team on penalties in 2021 and in overtime in Virginia last year against St. Olaf. We'll have a chance to hopefully speak to a couple of the Mammoths in just a moment, but we talked about the NESCAC and the strength of the conference. It's obviously so evident when you have three teams from the same league in the national semifinals, but this game, start to finish, was played at such a high level. So much fun to watch.
You could not have asked for more, and I think it makes it even sweeter for Amherst knowing how strong the field was coming into this week. The coaches all talked to us about the parity of the teams coming in. It was going to take a little luck. It was going to take a lot of strategy. These two teams in particular who are so familiar with each other, but really congratulations to all four teams that were in this tournament field. And in terms of the all-tournament team selections, was really happy to hear Asa Tukey's name called. From Washington and Lee, P.J. Ryan, who I thought was tremendous in the semifinals, Tyler Payne and Kyle Nielsen from Middlebury. Middlebury also massive fight against Amherst. Those two teams very familiar with each other. Middlebury, the other team from the NESCAC that has had such an amazing season. That was a fun battle to watch on Thursday. So again, I think for Amherst, when you win against a field like this, it is truly a moment for celebration because you know you've beat the best of the best.
Go back to something that Coach Serpone told us. Every metric would show you that these are like coin flips, and he was referring not just to his team's matchup with Middlebury in the potential championship game, but to any combination of results we could have gotten here in Las Vegas. And you're right, we saw two other outstanding teams go out in the semifinals.
We certainly did. And I think for these two teams, they know what it took to even get here, the caliber of competition. There were a lot of penalty shootouts all throughout this tournament. It is so competitive year in and year out in Division III men's college soccer. It does take luck to get here. It takes skill. It has to take the right personnel out on the field. The coaches all top-notch. And what we have seen this week, it has been a lot of defense. We expected it would be. The defenses have shown so brightly, and I could not have scripted it better for this one to come down to the shootout, to see Max Landa and Peter Sylvester go at each other. Those two goalkeepers, I think what we saw out of them, it is the best of the best to rise to the occasion, to answer when your number is called. It is so hard to do, and for those two, what they were able to show in that shootout, you could not have asked for more for either of those two goalkeepers.
Not often that you see a most outstanding player come from a team that doesn't win the title, but if you watch Peter Sylvester play at all this weekend, you know he is more than deserving of the most outstanding defensive player award for Conn College.
He certainly was. He is the reason that Conn College got to this championship final, and frankly a big reason that it was scoreless and forced into the penalty shootout. I thought his reaction time, his composure, his humility, as we talked about on Thursday, he seemed surprised that we would even suggest that he was the man of the match on Thursday, because he has so much confidence and faith in the defense in front of him. And again, it wasn't just Sylvester on the all-tournament team, and I think another one, Alessandro Orvastiano, it wasn't just the defense, it was the set-piece delivery, and of course the big-time goal that he scored on Thursday that propelled Conn College into this championship final.
We've got another championship game tomorrow as well. The women will take the stage at 12 o'clock Pacific time. Wash U from St. Louis, which has been number one in the country most of the year, and which looks so impressive Friday in beating number 2 Christopher Newport 3-0. The Bears will take on the Herons of William Smith and the legendary head coach Alessandra Wilbur after they beat Emory in our other semifinal. Should be another great game tomorrow.
We saw a lot of offense yesterday, and it was offense after scoreless first halves. We saw big-time scoring in the second half. Wash U just came out absolutely on fire. 3 first-years, by the way, scored those goals, and 3 first-years who came off the bench for the Bears. For William Smith, I'm not sure what Alessandra Wilbur said to her team at halftime, but she also had a first-year score a goal in Nell Dwyer off a set piece, which was a magical moment for the Herons. It completely shifted things in that contest against Emory. It is going to be a fantastic one. If it is even half the game that this one was, we are in for another special treat.
And WashU will be trying to replicate what Amherst just did, and that is win a national title after losing in the championship game a season ago as the Bears fell to Cal Lutheran on the other side of the country in Virginia in the 2023 title game. So the Mammoths continue to celebrate, and again, we're hoping to have an opportunity to chat with a couple of the victorious players when we talk to Justin Serpone before the semifinals. He talked about this season being like a Netflix series, and he reiterated those comments last night, or 2 nights ago rather, in the press conference after the semifinal win against Middlebury. He told us earlier, every game's a different episode. I don't know how you're going to get to the next episode. I think maybe fitting that the final episode is Amherst getting that monkey off the back, winning after a couple of heartbreaking defeats in the championship game, and then winning against Conn College on penalties.
Well, he continued that in the post-game press conference on Thursday. He said for some it's going to be the season finale. For some it's going to be the series finale. The adversity that his team faced continued into Thursday, continued into today, but they come out the champions, and I think all of that adversity has made it all the more sweeter to hoist the national championship trophy.
Going back down to the field, and Mariah Janos is with the victorious Goalkeeper.
Max, the streamers are flying. You guys are tossing Coach in the air. You're jumping up and down. Just talk to me about how you're feeling right now.
I mean, it's impossible to describe it. I mean, over the last 5 years, 4 years, this group of guys, this team, this program has gone through a lot, getting so close, but not quite getting over the line. And I mean, this has been a 5-year journey. It's been a 4-year journey. Like, there's no better way to end it like this. I can't even talk about it.
What has it been for this group to make that difference this year, turn things around in the 4th year, making it back to the championship?
I mean, we just relied on the same things that we always rely on. It's passion and care and love for each other. I mean, you see the group of alums over there, like, that's what it really means to everyone in this program. Like, it really is a family, and it's just relying on those people, those values the entire way got us back to where we wanted to be, so.
And for you, 110 minutes played, then you guys go into PKs. How were you able to keep your composure? What was going through your mind?
I just have complete confidence in the people around me. I mean, we've been on the opposite side of that, and we know what it feels like, so just kind of forgetting that, putting it in the past, leaving it there, and looking forward to what could be, and that's relying on what we got, and that's how we did it.
You guys sure did get it done. Max, congratulations. Go celebrate with your team.
Appreciate it.
Guys.
All right, thank you, Mariah. And heard the family comments that Coach Serpone was talking about, reiterated by his goalkeeper there.
And that is something that I think sums up this Amherst program, and you can tell it in the way they're celebrating. And I'm glad that Mariah mentioned throwing Coach Serpone up in the air, because that was certainly a special moment for the Mammoths.
Right back down to the field, Mariah standing by with another veteran member of this Amherst squad.
Ben, what is the difference maker with this team? Why were you guys able to come out victorious this season?
I think after last season, getting to the final and losing, we walked off that field and we made a choice. We said it pre-game. We made a choice that we wanted to get back here and that it would be different this time. And I think all season the message was we believe that we can, and I think that showed today. Like, I thought we played really well. I mean, credit to Colin, they're an excellent team. We know how that feels. They beat us in 2021, and it was just a great battle out there. But the whole time we believed that this year was different, and I think that really showed on the field. And I really want to stress that, like what we just said over there is, like, this win, as much as it's like this team, it's this program's win. It's all that alumni over there who got to this point and lost, who, you know, we were out in the 2016 my sophomore year. All the guys before that, 2019, like, they were here supporting us, and, you know, this is our win as a whole program, and I'm just so proud to be a part of this team. and be a part of this program. This is an unbelievable feeling.
Well, this program has faced Connecticut College 9 times in the last 4 years, especially in that NESCAC play. How has that familiarity helped you in today's game?
Yeah, I mean, we knew, they know us and we know them, and we knew exactly what they're good at, and I mean, they put up a hell of a fight today. It was one of the tightest games I've ever been a part of. You know, it was hard, you couldn't really see which way it was going to go, and it did feel like penalties were inevitable. But yeah, I mean, they're just incredible team, incredible movement, passing out the back. We knew we had to get our pressure right, and they broke our press a few times, and they're excellent. They're going to bounce back just like we did, and that's what I was telling them. Like, they'll use it to fuel them like we did, and yeah, I'm sure they're going to be an excellent team for years to come.
You're heading back to Massachusetts as a national champion. How does it feel?
Incredible. It's just, it hasn't really sunk in yet, but I'm sure I'm not going to forget this feeling. But I'm just so proud, especially since we know how it feels to be on the other end of this, and we worked so hard to get back to this point. And so I'm just so proud of this team, this program, and I'll remember it for the rest of my life.
Congratulations, Ben. Go continue celebrating.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Guys, what a game. I'll send it back up to you.
Ben Clark-Eden, one of 7 Mammoths who logged all 110 minutes here in the championship game. Just a phenomenal display from both teams, really all 4 teams that we saw in Las Vegas this weekend, but a title game to remember between these 2 NESCAC rivals.
And I really loved Ben Clark-Eden's comments to Connecticut College and him saying, I said this on the field to them to do what we did to fuel this into next season. We've heard that out of Coach Serpone all week, and it really flows top down, the culture that the coaching staff creates. They really have so much respect for their opponents, these NESCAC opponents, all of the opponents that they face. And so I thought that was really a lovely moment from Clark-Eden, that he had such kind words and such words of respect for this Conn College team who, Jeremy, I know that it feels painful right now, but when they sit back and look at what they accomplished in just the postseason alone, it was absolutely staggering, the run that the Camels made.
But how about the Mammoths finally breaking back through and winning the program's 2nd national title?
You know, it just felt like coming into this tournament that they had so much fire, so much want to, the will to win, which you also heard the players talk about on the field. They have been on the losing end of this, and a lot of the players logged a lot of minutes. They only had 3 subs before the penalty shootout, and one of those subs, Ohadike, makes it onto the all-tournament team, and I thought that was so well-deserved. He was such a difference maker, the spark that he provided to his team out on the field. But I think for the Mammoths, this is so well-earned. They withstood a lot of pressure in this Final Four. Certainly Conn College gave them moments where they were really testing them defensively, and Amherst stood up to the task. And in that penalty shootout, again, Max Landa, oh my goodness, what a showing out of the Amherst goalkeeper.
3 saves in the shootout for Landa. It's Simon Kalinauskas who delivers the winning penalty in the 7th round. 0-0 through 110 minutes, 4-3 in the penalty shootout. And Amherst College, your 2024 Division III men's soccer national champions. For Monica Moore, Mariah Janos, and our entire outstanding crew, I'm Jeremy Franklin saying so long from Las Vegas.